This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Welcome, everybody, to the X&C Podcast. Welcome back, and I hope you're having a good time and hanging in there and doing okay. How are you doing, Mag? Are you hanging in there and doing okay?
Hanging in there, doing okay. It's a busy time of year for all of us, for everybody. Whatever you end up celebrating, it's a whole thing. Yeah, it's busy, man. Last week was a busy week, and by Friday I was burnt out. So I didn't do Friday Night Live. I couldn't get around to it. We did the XNC on Monday was 2.5 hours. My Magcast was on Tuesday was 4 hours. The Thursday show was 4.5 hours. And I did videos in between, a couple of shorts, a couple of good produced ones. I did 2 videos on Friday. And then by Friday afternoon, I was done. And that was that. And then I did a little stream on Saturday. It was hilarious. Still had like 500-600 people come out and check it out. And watching me be brutalized in Battlefield 6, let me tell you.
Brutalized,
listen,
huh?
there's a thing, and I'm telling you it's a thing. I was playing Call of Duty for about 3 weeks straight, right? Because I did my review and all that stuff. I did the Battlefield 6 review before that, and I put almost 100 hours in. And then, Aero Nation, I was here the whole time. And then what ended up happening was I went to Call of Duty. It's a totally different feel, totally different vibe, totally different, like speed, movement, all that kind of stuff, right? So I got used to that. So then I go back and they did a new expansion on Battlefield 6. Dude, I couldn't shoot the broadside of a barn with a bazooka. It was horrifying. And I had to do it live. Even some of the people watching, they're like, bro, this is painful to watch. And I'm like, fine. So after we cut it, we went to Call of Duty, and then I started kicking butt, and it was no problem. So it was great. But either way, I'm refreshed, renewed now, and this week's going to be another busy week. I got something else I'll talk about later after the show's done, and or near the end of the show about what I'm doing this week. And then that's it, dude. And then that's it. And then we go right into the Christmas season. Like next Monday, I will not be here. I'm not going to be in town. Next Monday, I'm leaving first thing in the morning. I'm going up north to my brother-in-law's cottage for a couple days for Christmas with my wife's side of the family. And then we drive home from up north and then spend actual Christmas with my side of the family. We reverse every year. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, so I'm not going to be on YouTube for probably 3 or 4 days. And then I'll be back in business on Friday, Boxing Day.
I think we'll have a special guest in your place while you're gone, but it's been a pretty crazy week, and I sleep about 5 hours a day lately. But it's been exciting for gaming news.
That sounds like vacation for me.
Oh my gosh! The funny thing is, like, Mag messaged me, guys. He messaged me at what would be like 2 a.m. his time, and he's like, I'm like, Mag, what are you doing?
I can't sleep.
And it's a work night. I'm like, this guy's got work in the morning. And he's like, cool, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, dude, what do you want me to do? Dude, ever since my kids were born, I mean, I was always a light sleeper anyway, even growing up. And my parents told me even when I was a baby, I would never sleep. And anyways, now as you push on to whatever, I can't sleep more than like 4.5 hours at a time, man.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I can't do it.
Well, I don't get to. That's my problem. I mean, anybody can sit here and whine about what the things they have to deal with, but my dog wakes me up at 5:30 in the morning, and then I go back to bed. Then my son comes in, it's like, hey, I got to take him to school, and then I go back to bed, and then work's like, hey, we need you to do something, and I get out of bed. No, but yeah, it's been like that for a long time. We do have some interesting news today, and there will be a large chunk of the show a little bit later where we're going to talk about the Game Awards, because everyone's been talking about it for days, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some stuff that we're going to cover first before we get into our reaction and the social reaction of the Game Awards, because it's really starting to pop off even now at the beginning of the week. So we appreciate everyone who's here watching us. This is the XC Podcast. Mag and I are live on YouTube, but if you're listening to this in your car, it's probably on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Thanks so much for supporting the show. I don't know if you know this, Mag, but we've had some ups and downs, and we talked about this. You talked about it on Gaz's show, how you came in about almost 3 years ago, and everyone's like, "Oh, I got to get used to a new guy," and I want Gaz back. And then it came to the point where like, I don't want Gaz here. I want Mag here. Like, it's been a long road, and we especially
it's a long road. When you're on your own. Sorry, it's the theme from Rambo. What am I supposed to do? Not sing that song?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. The other thing was I got my Spotify Wrapped for the podcast, and we went through all of 2024, which was really rough with Xbox, changing everything, and then we've made some adjustments over 25, and they said that our podcast is up 800 and 900% by viewers and followers respectively. I'm like, 900%, that's freaking crazy. But I don't know, there's
so we
there's
went from three to like 6 people then watching us.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, that's 900%.
Right, yeah. Mag's good for the math. I don't know what it means because the views stay about the same. Like we have the same amount of viewers pretty much. Sometimes that goes down, but there's been a lot of people who've just been reaching out and commenting on the platform, so we appreciate it. And it's, some people make jokes, Mag, like, "Oh, those guys are going to die." Oh, one guy said something. I was in Rand's podcast on Friday, and he said,
"Yes, I watched
XC's really fallen off lately," and I'm like, actually, it's up a lot. So you guys have been awesome, and we talk about you all the time. All of you in the chat, like we're always talking about you and how much you do for us, and get to talk to you guys on party chat or seeing in the streams. We appreciate it.
Well, it's pretty obvious, Colt, why they would say that in Rand's chat, because Rand is extremely toxic, as we already know. Right. And Jez Corden is extremely toxic as well. He has 6 burner accounts. He uses them in our chats to troll us regularly. So does Rand. So they attract those kind of people. I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, it's pretty it's very unsurprising to me. In fact, I'm actually going to call the police and have a word with them about Rand and Jez. Yes, absolutely.
So we're going to get into the hottest and latest news, Mag. And before we do that, we wanted to give a shout out to our channel sponsorship on the podcast to the amazing, and I've got it right here, the amazing 4XP.
Yes,
and the triple threat of Ultra Nightmare, Legendary, and our favorite, the White Gummy.
You're damn right.
The Grave Walker. Yeah.
You're damn right. The best one of the bunch. I mean, they're all amazing, but I mean, dude, there's the shaker right there. You get all that. Listen, the holiday seasons are upon us, folks. We're in the second day of Hanukkah. Christmas is next week. Kwanzaa's next week. Listen, this is the time to stuff other people. Well, that's going to come out really funny, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to say it anyway. This is the time to stuff other people's stockings, so to speak. And while doing so, let me tell you, you got to put some 4XP in there. Never mind Toblerones. You never mind. Listen, if you want to buy Toblerones and put them in someone's stocking, just send it to me. I'll have a mailing address. You could send me all the Toblerones, but instead I want you to give all your family members 4XP. Why? It'll keep them alive. It'll keep them awake and ready to party for Christmas, and that will carry them. The energy is going to carry them all the way to New Year's. Do yourself a favor. Do them a favor. They're such wonderful, sweet guys. And listen, 4XP, that's where it's at, man. That's what I'm talking about. Get something before Christmas. You'll be able to get it, and then you can give it the gift of energy and excitement. And then, of course, with all the gaming stuff that's going on, they had game sales right after the Game Awards. They put a lot of things on sale. We had Black Friday just happen. Your backlogs just got bigger. You can't do that on regular energy, folks. You need 4XP in order to get through all that before Resident Evil Requiem comes out. So you've got some time. You got a little bit of cash. Go get yourself some 4XP. Go get some from your family, and have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all.
Thank you so much, Mag. We appreciate them. And now that you've got your thirst quenched and your energy lifted, let's talk about the gaming news. The news that broke this morning is that Marathon has a release date, strangely says March 2026. Not a release actual day, right? But $40 game, and they've made some major improvements. I didn't dive into this like face first and go, as the kids would say 20 years ago, ham. But do you know much about this this Marathon? I saw some of the graphic and visual updates, and they kind of made some changes. Do you know anything, or do you want me to tell you everything that I know?
Well, no.
While you're tracking it.
They talk about March. We've already known that March is an extremely busy month, right? We all know that. There's a lot of big games coming out that month. However, they moved Soros out of there. Remember that when they gave the during the Game Awards, they actually gave a release date of April 30th, if memory serves, and that used to be in March. Right? That used to be in March, and they moved it out of March and put it at the end of April. So I'm like, well, that's kind of smart because March was already creeping up and being incredibly busy as it was for game releases and all that stuff. And now they're about to shove Marathon in there, which I think is actually not a great idea, personally. I think that if they're going to release it, we got to wait till the developer direct in January, and that's when you're going to find out about what's going on with the Xbox games, specifically Forza Horizon 6. Forza Horizon 6 is rumored to launch in the second quarter of 2026, unless they pull some rug out of everybody, out from under everybody, and say, hey, by the way, it's available next week or this week or something.
When does second quarter start, Mag?
Second quarter is, I believe, April and on, is it not? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I think it's April and May. But I can't remember the exact date because Microsoft. I'm not talking about Microsoft's financial quarter. I'm talking about like actual quarter two of like just a regular calendar year. I'm saying from that perspective, not because you know how financial quarters don't work the same, right? So I'm just talking about from a calendar year. April to July would be quarter two, right? So I would think, to June, to the end of June into July. So I'm thinking somewhere in there would be the release date, April, May, something like that. Might be May. However, I would actually, if I was going to do the marathon thing, I would actually keep it out of, first of all, February, forget about it. Forget about February. February's already got two big games coming out there. One being the biggest game, Resident Evil Requiem. It's gaining so much steam. It may be one of the biggest selling games of the year. And then on top of that, then you go into March with a bunch of other big titles coming out in March. And one of them being Crimson Desert, by the way. That was a bit of a shock to me. And now you got Soros in the end of April, which is also a Sony product. So Sony has to look at that and say, well, we don't want to bang off two of them in the same month. But then you've got Forza Horizon 6, which is going to is going to steal a lot of attention. Forza Horizon 6 is also going to be one of the biggest selling games of the year, I think. I think Call of Duty is going to have a run for its money. Certainly not Grand Theft Auto 6. Obviously, that's going to be number one. But the other games fighting for second place, I think, are going to be Forza Horizon 6, Resident Evil, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Regardless of how that game comes out, you know it's always going to sell well. That being the case, I would wait for Microsoft to give a release date for Forza Horizon and then plant Marathon somewhere in there. Or worst case scenario, if they're ready, do it January.
I don't think they are, but didn't we have a good solid month of, maybe at less than a month of Battlefield 6? It did really well. Like the beta was, tons of people did the beta, and then when the game came out, it did really well for a few weeks. And then Arc Raiders has done this. So Arc Raiders has been going on for about a month, I think, where it's been the top game. And if it fell out for some reason next month, I think they'd still be doing really well. So I think Forza Horizon 6 is May, and if mid-March or into March is Marathon, like, are they going to have 2 or 3 good weeks and then maybe someone will be done? There's a game we'll talk about later on, the Highguard game, which comes out in 7 weeks, which puts that in February probably. I didn't even bother looking that up or thinking about when Highguard comes out, but they said 7 weeks, so that's before Marathon. So that might take some heat off of the game. But what they did was they added proximity chat, and it's funny because Bungie said last year or sometime this year, they said they didn't want to use proximity chat because they wanted to protect the children and toxic people on the microphone being able to say whatever they want, and you can't control it if there's proximity chat, and we got to protect the kids at all costs. And now seeing Arc Raiders absolutely explode off the line, but Bungie's like, oh, we have proximity chat in Marathon, and they also took this sterile, very clean looking, weird dystopian punky styling, and they added some organic alien like corpses and stuff. Like there's fleshy chunks of stuff in the corner of the maps. It's no longer this clean, weird like fever dream, and they've added some more sci-fi organic elements to it. And I saw some of the quick cuts this morning. I thought, okay, that looks nicer. It's still not really my thing. The weird mannequins come to life, like these Forever 21 mannequins running around with assault rifles is like not really my aesthetic, but I don't know. People are kind of like this, Mag. They're kind of like, okay. When before they were like trash constantly. So
I get it. Now, there's something else I was going to say about Marathon specifically is, again, this is not a free-to-play. This is a game you're going to have to buy. There's no subscription service that will utilize it. Maybe down the road, I can almost guarantee you that by the end of the summer, Marathon, or maybe the fall, Marathon will probably be on PlayStation Plus, because I don't see it surviving. To be quite honest, I don't see it surviving past a month. It may pop off for a little bit, and then if it does, it'll be one hell of a Cinderella story, but I really don't see that being the case with an extraction shooter. I don't see it being a Cinderella story at that point. And the reason why I'm saying extraction shooter is because there already are kings of extraction shooters right now. One of them is being monstrously popular. It's going to be very difficult to get other people to pay more money to go play a brand new one that, you know what I mean, that has a stigma around it, right? And so there's a bit of a problem there. But hey, listen, if they got the game, at the end of the day, they just got to release it at some point. You know, people in the chat also pointed out Pragmata's coming. That's another big title. That's coming out in April. That's from Capcom as well. Capcom's got another big title. I'm
totally
50-50
different
on that one
though.
because... Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's just that there's games out there that people want. That's the other thing. It's another thing I want to kind of squash that idea of, well, it's a different genre. Yes, but people also have money. And I don't mean money like in a lot of money. They also utilize money to be able to buy multiple games or whatever, or maybe just be able to buy one game. And even if it's a different genre, they may prioritize one over the other because they're like, I really wouldn't mind playing Marathon or whatever, but I only have money for one game. So I'm going to spend my $70 US, 100 Canadian dollars, whatever, on Pragmata. So regardless of that, it's two different genres. People only have so much money out there, right, to spend on games. People just don't go throw money like at a strip club, you know, like just make it rain. Like it doesn't work that way. So people will pick and choose, as you know, there are more, especially these days, and you see everybody talking about it, especially recently. The gaming industry, because it's gotten so expensive, not just only for hardware, but for software, there are more discerning customers out there in the chat. Right. Yeah. And so that being the case, there's that. Then also, by the way, in May, I'd also like to point out that Legacy of the Dark Knight is coming out that month as well. So now you've got the first 5 months of the year are going to be brutal. I mean, in a great way, but I'm brutal for the wallet, but great for gamers. And not everybody's going to be able to afford all that stuff. That's just the reality of the situation. And people are going to be like, I can't spend $400 to start the year. You know what I mean? With another 8 months or 7 months of gaming to go towards the end of the year, when the big titles come out, your Gears, your Wolverines, your Grand Theft Auto 6s, your Modern Warfare 4s, like, dude, you know what I mean? What are we talking about here? Like, there's only so much money to spread around. You know, 007's coming out in March. That's looking better. I don't know. Some people like it, some people don't. But I mean, I'm getting it. I was gifted the game from Grumpy Old Fart, bought me the game. So I'll be streaming that on the channel, but that was a gift. That's still a $70 game or $100 game or whatever, right? So it's crazy. So like, I think Marathon, I don't think it's going to take off at all, man. And look at your poll. And I don't mean that poll, Cole. I mean the poll you put in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll look at this.
Look at it. I mean, I'll read it. I'm right here.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 80 something, but go ahead. Yeah.
It's 76-24 saying the game will not be successful. And again, I'm not going to play it. Like, I'm not going to, I know everybody thinks that, I'm the pony master, but I'm going to go play it.
I mean, we should play it so we can like speak on it, but I'm not really, I can play it. I'm in the Marathon creator Discord. Oh, this is really rude.
What?
Well, all I have to do is just kind of follow some steps so that I could play the betas, and I have not done that because I was playing some other game, or I just didn't. This was a game I didn't want to jump in and play the beta, but I don't want to spend $40 to see if it's good. So
that's what I'm saying, Cold.
I have to.
You can experiment with your $40, dude.
I just have to expose the fact that I am not willing to take the leap on this. So I can't really give an opinion on Marathon because just looking at it and saying it's trash, all I can say to you is that I'm not interested in playing it. And I hope it does well, but no marketing that you could do could save Marathon. What will happen is when the game comes out, the few that are playing it will tell everyone that it's awesome. And that's word of mouth is the absolute vehicle for a game to take off. It's the reason why Arc Raiders would not have taken off if everyone wasn't telling their grandmas to learn how to play on a controller. So it's it's a big deal. So Marathon will live and die by the mouth of fans that end up liking it. So
what are the odds that lightning strikes twice, though? You know what I mean? Like, you got your lightning strike, right? Your lightning strike was Arc Raiders.
Well, every year, isn't there one?
But I mean, not to that magnitude, though.
Yeah.
You know, not to that magnitude. That's the problem. It's just it's impossible to. I don't see lightning striking twice in such a short period of time. Whenever these things come out, like, you see what happens when people try, like when developer studios try to trend chase, and then they release, and then 4 years later they're at the Game Awards showing their games, and everybody's like, "Bro, that was hot 4 years ago."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's because one game did it. You know what I mean? And then, or maybe two games did it, and then that's it. And then then you don't have that success for many years, because then they have just taken over the market, and that's all there is to it. I just don't see Arc Raiders and Marathon taking off in literally a space of less than 6 months. I just don't see it happening. Yeah, I think people have latched on to Arc Raiders, and that's it.
Yeah, there's something about those worlds that I think people need that world, and if you're on smaller maps in Marathon, maybe people don't feel that investment. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I think it has a way better chance than it did this year.
Oh, sure. It certainly showed better. It's been showing better. But I did see Detective Seeds actually said something interesting. He was talking about Marathon, and he said, well, you know, the difference, a lot of people are you know, obviously because it's Bungie, they're comparing Destiny with Marathon. And he's like, it's not the same. You can't make that comparison, because Destiny has big, you know, it's a big, open world hub or whatever, with many of these large areas that you get to go into and whatever, be able to play. It's very meaty in terms of content. When you're talking about extraction shooters, you're talking small maps. You're basically going to do laps of the same maps over and over and over. And even if they have support post-game launch, it's not going to be the same. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not, people will get bored very quickly, because it doesn't have the depth of something like Destiny, where you could go on a 3-hour raid, you know, up a mountainside or this and that. And then you can go into like an ocean thing. Then you can go into like an oil drilling site somewhere off world or whatever, right? And all these cool areas. This can only have so much. And as a result of that, even with post-launch content being supported by Bungie, it's just, at the end of it, you can run from one end to the other in like 18 seconds or whatever. You know what I mean? As you're sprinting from one end of the map to the other. It's like multiplayer. Multiplayer, you can only play so much team deathmatch before you're literally just running the same map in circles. And everybody's like, okay, I get it. I get it.
If Marathon has that addictive loop where people want to play those maps over and over. I mean, I have friends who are playing in the same 5 Arc Raiders maps for 7 hours every single night. And I'm like, yeah. Okay. I mean, I've got 80 hours in the game.
Hold on. There's something about Arc Raiders that's a little different. And the angle with Arc Raiders is that it has the interaction with one human being to another that adds the variety. And that is where it stands out, because when you're playing a game like Arc Raiders, you're dealing with the human element even if you go to the same map 85 times. Okay?
My door opened my door opened, and I thought one of my family members needed to get my attention. I opened the door, and there's no one there. Like,
there is somebody there. You just can't see them. I've seen The Conjuring. Yeah, I've seen The Conjuring. Trust me, it's cold. Yeah. Just get out of the house while you get out of the house. Get out of the house while you can. The thing with Arc Raiders is the human element changes the parameters of the game every single round. And that's what keeps it interesting, because you don't know what you're going to be dealing with. You're going to be dealing with a bunch of a-holes, a bunch of pirates, or a bunch of very nice people, and you're not sure. And as a result of that, it adds intrigue every time you jump in there. So the focus is not the map. The focus is the other person, because not only could you talk to them and everything else, but you're going to be dealing with them. And I'm not sure Marathon is going to be able to pull off the same kind of charm that Arc Raiders has in that respect, and has... again, respectfully taken on basically taken the world by storm, the gaming world by storm. So I don't know. I'm not trying to naysay it, but at the same time, I just can't see it succeeding past a month.
I can stick with that. Yeah, I bet it has at least a month. But I don't know. We'll see. There will be more reports on this, I'm sure. And maybe I will look into actually getting my hands on it before that release. I want to talk about... I'm sitting here thinking about the show and what we're going to talk about and kind of what I think. I'm like doing the old... remember the old Johnny Carson? He's like...
Puts the paper on his head. Yeah. It gives the
I'm
answer. And
thinking
then
about
raise
what
the
you guys
question.
want to... what you want to talk about. So I'm going to kind of race through these couple of topics here, which are really good, but I'm going to be making a full video on this maybe tomorrow or the next day. But I got some information. There's people that were at the in LA for the Game Awards, and there was Xbox people and studio people and Jeff Keighley and the guy with the PVC flute. So yeah, I was hearing some stuff about Obsidian, Bethesda, and Xbox Developer Direct. So let me put this on the timestamps for all of you beautiful people. Thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button. We are 28 minutes into the show, so I'm going to blast through this because we have a bunch to talk about when it comes to the Game Awards, the reaction to, and the future of that. So Obsidian Entertainment is hard at work. They just got Outer Worlds out, Grounded 2 preview, and Avowed. Everyone knows that, but it sounds like Obsidian has a whole bunch of stuff coming very soon. Tim Kaine joined. I talked about Tim Kaine last week on the show. He used to work with Interplay and a bunch of the people that work at Obsidian, Fallout veterans. So this also ties into Bethesda stuff. We kind of cover this, but the crystal ball says that there are some DLC coming for current games for Obsidian. So if you're a fan of Avowed or Outer Worlds, there might be some extra stuff for you to play very soon to add to your collection there. There are smaller projects coming in 2026. The statement I'm going to lead with is that Xbox has a huge 2026 coming, and I didn't believe this at all, Meg, because I thought they were going to have Halo, Gears, and Forza, and then they were we're going to celebrate 25 years, but this year they had 10 brand new full release games, and the Matt Booty said in that interview, our 2026 is bigger than 2025. I don't know how this is possible, but I'm going to put some of the pieces together. Apparently there are 2 big projects. I don't know if that means full games or what, but 2 big projects coming in 2027 from Obsidian, and then a smaller game coming in 2028. And I don't know how they're doing this. Like, this is literally Obsidian saying, well, I do know how they're doing this. This is Obsidian being like Insomniac saying we could put out games in 2 to 3 years. So expect 2 games in 2027 and 1 in 2028, but something in 2026 from them that is not DLC. The Xbox Developer Direct was announced for January 26th or something, the end of January, so it's in about a month, the Developer Direct, and Matt Booty said in an interview with Variety that it's going to be a really big show and a huge show for them, but some inside stuff I heard, that you're not going to believe this. No, I'm not going to tell you because you won't believe it. It's not worth even saying. Okay, I'll tell you.
You brought it up. Yeah, you brought it up. You can't just bring it up and walk away. What are you, a girl? It's like, I want to talk to you about something. I'm like, what do you find? What's wrong? What's wrong? Oh,
I
it's
can't
nothing.
say.
And then they just walk away.
I can't say.
I can't say. This is walk away.
2023 was the first Developer Direct, and it was 4 games that they showcased. If I'm getting this right, 2024 was 5 games that they showcased, and then 2025, the one we had a year ago, was 4 games. So they've done 4, 5, and 4, or a mix of that. I went back and looked at the 3 Developer Directs we've had. So the most they've ever done is 5 games showcased at the show, Mag, and 2 of them were just 4 games. The rumor, this talk, is that they might have a 7th game at the upcoming Developer Direct, which means they are targeting 6 games to be showcased at the Developer Direct. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about what that could possibly be, because I don't think they're going to showcase anything from Call of Duty at the Developer Direct. That's usually later in the showcase. So I thought I would ask you, what would you think if let's just say 6, and maybe we'll throw in the 7th one as a bonus if that actually comes to fruition. But what do you think's on the menu for 6 games at Developer Direct.
Well, the first thing we got to do is dispel the idea that all 6 of those games have to be the AAA games, right? Because some of them could be AA games, smaller projects, stuff like that. They're not always going to, like, I see some people in the chat saying what they're going to say. You're not going to be getting all 6 AAA titles coming from Xbox Game Studios. That's never going to happen. You're going to have some smaller ones in there. Yep.
And AAA doesn't mean anything anymore. It no longer means an amazing, great game.
No, but I mean, those specific, no, I know that, but I'm saying those specific titles, like, for example, Elder Scrolls and all this other stuff that people are talking about. And I'm like, no, you're not going to see all of those. That's what I mean. Like the premier titles is what I'm getting at, right? The ones that everybody knows and whatnot. You could nail 3 off the bat, I would imagine, would be Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? Cue the song. And so that would be 3. For sure, right? Because all 3 are coming out this year. Forza will be the first to release. Who the heck knows? We're gonna they're obviously they're gonna drop Halo. Let's be honest. They're gonna drop Halo somewhere during that 25th anniversary celebration. You know what I mean? They might just do the party and be like, "Hi, by the way, it's available right now for the whole world to celebrate 25 years or blah 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 blah." So I would imagine somewhere in the fall. No, is it November? Is it the 25th? Yeah, the 25th anniversary is in November, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, like November 10th or something like that. Yeah.
So it'll be somewhere in the region of there. I could see them doing something like that. And then, of course, Gears Ide is an enigma. I have no idea what they're doing with that game, when they're going to release it. Obviously, they're going to show it at the Developer Direct. But in terms of release cadence or a release schedule, of that particular game, I have no idea. But I think that you'll see those 3 for sure. The other ones that we have to talk about, obviously,
wait, what were the 3? You said?
Yep.
Gears Ide.
Yes. Halo
Combat Campaign Evolved.
Campaign Evolved, yeah. Mm-hmm. And Forza, because Forza will be
6. Okay.
Literally, no pun intended, literally on the horizon just after that Game Awards and a Developer Direct. And you never know. Maybe they could get real cheeky and all of a sudden they'll be like, by the way, we're dropping it now. Or I don't know. I highly doubt that because they're going to do a marketing machine for that. But it'd be fun just to, think about.
Now,
so those 3 for sure. We got it. Yeah,
I think they're going to have one partnered third-party game that doesn't belong to them that launches
day and date
Game
Ninja
Pass,
Gaiden like we did last,
or more like Expedition 33, because they've had at least 2.
Yes.
Paris in the chat. Paris, there was 2 non-Xbox. Oh yeah, I remember them now. I was going to ask Paris to write it, but I just remembered. Visions of Mana was last year or the year before. Yeah, 2024 was Visions of Mana, and then this year they had Expedition 33. So
and Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, which they published.
Ninja Gaiden 4.
So, yeah. So
yeah.
So if there's 6 games, one of those could be something that we haven't seen yet that's coming out in 2026 that Xbox is partnered with for Play Anywhere or Game Pass or both. So,
right. Yeah. Clockwork Revolution.
I think that's a good
that's
possibility.
Gotta drop. It's got to drop. They said it was 2026. Did they not? I mean, they
never said. They've still said in due time, and I've heard behind the scenes that Clockwork Revolution was in due time because they're pretty sure they're not going to make 26. But you never know.
Okay, never mind.
Because Tina Amini is putting together Tina Amini, who used to work at IGN, who's now the head of events, and I don't remember what her title is, but she's doing amazing work putting these events together so we have extra goodies to watch. And she also does the Xbox podcast. She said that, why did I say she? What was I going to say from her? I'm trying not to speak out of turn from the stuff I've heard, so I'm being very careful. She said she's already working on Developer Direct. Yes, she said that like a week ago, which means she's kind of started preliminary stuff. Then they'll take Christmas break like everybody does at Xbox and Microsoft. Like the last 2 weeks are dead, and then they'll come back, and then she has that rest of the month to finish it. So she's already working that up. And I was just going to say, I'm just kind of like illustrating something that maybe an Exile said, hey, we think we might be ready for 2026. And maybe the team at Xbox is saying, you got to be sure, because what we like to do is when we show you at Developer Direct, you're coming out that year. That's what we do. So maybe they're ready. But I've heard that they're not, but maybe they are.
You know, the thing is too is that eventually it gets to a point, and like I said, I'm watching the chat obviously, and I see what's going on there. Yes, a Sneak King remaster is coming. Incredible. That's exactly what's coming. Go to your local Burger King, get a Whopper with cheese, and you'll be able to get your Sneak King remaster. Here's the thing: you're running out of room now, and the thing is, if you back up the dump truck and just dump everything in one shot, you're going to lose. It's going to lose its impact, and that is a problem. You have to spread things out, like not like the way Sony spreads things out. Which it's still been working for them, but that's because they have a ton of third-party support. However, if you can't just dump like, hey, here's like 7 AAA games or 6 AAA games in like, a matter of 8 months or whatever. You do something like that, it loses its impact. And listen, and remember something, their business model is now different. Their business model is now set up around, engagement, which they've always had, but now it's set up around third-party sales to PlayStation and Switch too. I'm not sure about what's going on with Switch 2, but if you saw the Game Awards, they seem to be taking on some pretty big AAA titles. They got 2 from Capcom going to the Switch. Like Resident Evil Requiem is going to Switch 2. I don't know how, but it's going to make its way there. But either way, now that their strategy includes third-party sales, you can't just dump all these games in like 7 months, 8 months, and be like, here you go, and people are not going to buy it all. Yeah. You just don't have money. You can't do Game Pass subscribers are like, yeah, give us everything at once. That's not how business works. And it's not going to be like that. So I think that like when you're talking about your like a State of Decay 3, which obviously they've been working on for several years now, where would you stick that, Colt? Like where the hell are you going to put that that's going to have maximum impact?
Where would I stick the game? Yeah.
Sorry,
where would you stick that, Colt?
Like, don't forget they got Modern Warfare 4 as well. Like, I mean, I know we said years.
State of Decay,
Halo.
I think you'd have a better chance playing pick up sticks with your butt cheeks than getting State of Decay 3 in 2026. So, to quote the late great John Candy from Planes Trains, I don't think so.
It's like Fable as well. Those aren't pillows. We also have to like Fable is another one. Like I don't see that as well. Where would you put Fable? A monster game of that magnitude. Where are you going to put that? I'm asking, like legitimately, where are you going to put that with everything you've already got coming?
I don't know.
And don't forget, third party is out there.
I have the feeling that Xbox doesn't. I don't know. They're not as worried about when their games launch as maybe other platforms are. They use the excuse like, "Oh, we have Game Pass, and we're across PC and console." But I looked up Fable 2 released in October of 2008. Grand Theft Auto 4 was months before in April. So, I don't know if way back then if that was Rare, right? Back then, or no, that was Lionhead. Lionhead Studios is like, "Oh, we have to." They delayed, Grand Theft Auto 4 back then. I don't know if they were thinking like that. But I also think, and you can disagree with me, I think you only need to give a 1-month berth for Grand Theft Auto 6. Anywhere 30 days before and after, I think it'd be totally fine.
Before, I could see. Sure. After? I don't know. Because it's going to be... You
never know. Mag,
I mean, look at the sales, man.
What if... Grand Theft Auto's online is not set to launch for a month? Or what if it launches with the game and people are like, man, this just isn't as good as we thought it would be? Then all these studios will move their games for nothing, but you never know.
I don't know.
And Sutton says, we'll beat GTA 6 in 2 weeks and we'll want more games. I'll beat the campaign like in 2 or 3 weeks because I will try to do everything in that world. Maybe probably take longer than that, actually. I think I spent a month plus on Grand Theft Auto 5, and I remember everyone like, I finished the campaign in 2 days. I don't know.
Well, and then you've got the online and stuff. Like, I mean, I know not everybody's into that, but I mean, that obviously it's carried them for 13 years, for Christ's sake. Or 12 years. You know what I mean? So obviously there's millions and millions of people playing online as well. I don't know. Sorry,
I know it's going to be huge. I want to give a shout out to Sean Labrie in the chat and Yudona Kizada, who's hanging out here as always and modding the chat. We appreciate you and everybody else in the chat. I see all you, BT,
except for Maverick. Maverick. He says he goes. Remember when Mag said they used to say they need good games. Now the last 2 years he's like there's too many games. Listen, Maverick. I've said this a million times. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. Obi-Wan Kenobi 2005. Okay.
You said it before then, but it was on the screen.
Too many. Well, yeah, he did because they filmed it in 2003, so technically.
No.
And of course, it was in a galaxy long
far away, long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. So
it was like
but either
1982.
way, the point is, Maverick, it's not about making too many good games. It's about making too many good games, not making too many good games and launching them at the same time. It doesn't make any financial sense. That's what I'm getting at, because now the strategy is different. The strategy is not shove everything in Game Pass and then the X amount of people that are on Game Pass are going to play that game. You're trying to sell this third party now. And if you trip over a AAA game every 5 steps, not everybody's going to buy it. Something's going to suffer.
You don't even have to say all of that, BT Maverick. He's saying when Xbox didn't have the games like 2022 and most of 2023, that was the thing. You said they need to have more games. And then 2024 happened and 25, and now we're saying, holy crap, you got to do this right, because now they're overflowing with games.
I think that 25 was actually a good release cadence for games for Xbox. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. It was just right, okay? Goldilocks had her porridge. It was just right. I think that's just enough. But this constant need of just keep giving us more and shoveling more crap in my mouth and like the fat people from Little Nightmares. That's basically what they're making fun of, by the way. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's too much, and you're not going to make money, and they're not going to do it. Middle-aged Goldilocks. Thank you, Beer Baron. But it's not. That doesn't make any sense, because people are not going to buy all those games, and you're going to lose out on those sales. They need time to breathe. You need time to breathe. And like I said, you're not just competing. That's the other thing people don't think. You're not just competing with Xbox games. You're going to be competing with third-party games that are going to be dumping a crap load of incredible games coming out.
And you're competing with TikTok.
Game Adaptation Newscast. Don't be a scumbag. All right? Emperor Hound, you're a Sith, but you're cool. But you know what I'm saying? Gosh. That's what I'm saying. He's saying get new material. Not you, Emperor Hound, the other guy. New material. That's business. It's called business sense.
I'm going to circle around because I'm going to cover this in a video, but there's no real way for us to speculate until our faces fall off about 6, maybe even 7 games at Developer Direct. But that's the likelihood of what Xbox has planned. I don't know how they're doing it. When I looked at their roadmap, I thought, who? But it's funny because let me add some more onto this. 2025 is crazy, like 10 new games. And you look at 30 studios, a third of their studios just put out games. But the answer is, what do the other 2/3 have ready to release? And I think we're going to find out real soon. So I want to talk about the game.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk about the Game Awards because you did a stream. I was streaming on Holly, That Blue Numbers channel with Red Wolf, and we watched the whole thing. And I didn't realize how long the show was going to be. I'm going to start off by saying, I know Jeff Keighley makes a lot of money doing that show, but I really would think it would be a better show if he trimmed the fat, looking at all the things he wants to do, and says, I got to cut an hour off this show. And I had a couple of people reach out and go, it's really difficult if you don't live in the U.S. to watch that show at 3 a.m. or whatever it is.
Right.
And it runs really, really long, and you're on the East Coast. So there was an hour left of the show. Like, they're going to do all the big last reveals, the last musical numbers, and I had to go. I thought it was going to be over by then, and I had my son's band concert, and so I missed the last bit of the show live, like everyone else was watching. So I really think that Jeff should pick and choose. I used to have this. Let me put this back up. He should pick and choose what could not be on the show, but it really comes down to looking at these partners who are paying you $1 million or paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars to put their game on the show floor. And you're like, yeah, but your game doesn't look neat enough to get a good score and keep viewership up. When I look at, I'm just gonna call out a couple things and then I'll let you run rampant here, Mag. But when I look at the reveals, I didn't need to see Exodus again. That's gonna bother some people, but when I rewatched it 3 times today, I'm like, they didn't really show a lot of new stuff. When I think about the biggest night of the whole entire year, I am wondering why we saw Lego Batman again. But, they paid the money. But if I was the overlord, if I was the major producer above Jeff, and he's like, we need to get this show down to 3 hours. How can we make it just bing, bang, boom? And I would say some of the stuff has to go. I would cut maybe a musical number or two, but I'm kind of a jerk. I like music. I would cut there's some of these games. There was this Too Stupid to Die game, I think it was called, that I think some people liked. When I was watching it, like I was just, all the cinematic stuff and the dialogue, I was like, oh. But I was getting really picky when I was watching it because it was 3.5 hours. So I could go on, but I'd probably upset people. I still don't like the way that he goes, best RPG best this, and they don't even they come up real quick and they say something on the sidebar. They don't get to go on the main stage. That kind of sucks too. But I do know we're all there to watch the trailers, so I'm just preaching to the choir. Like, we're there to see the bigger reveals. I think what I would cut out is save just big reveals. Like, if you've got a big reveal, it would be great to have you on the stage. But if you want to show something we've already seen, a game that we've already been revealed, that show us more gameplay, I guess they're willing to pay him. That's a really bad, when I say it out loud, that's a really bad opinion I have. Meg, your thoughts?
Not at all. No. I get it. I think
it's terrible.
But like, at the end of the day, it's a business, and he's got to pay for that show, and then he's got to pay to be able to produce the next show. Because don't forget, this also funds the summer showcase as well, right? So the money that he gets from there, of course, he's going to pay himself. It's his show; he can do whatever he wants. And so at the end of the day, listen, you have the right. I don't mean you specifically, Colteastwood. I mean, like, the viewing audience has the right to not watch the show. You could just not watch it. You're not entitled to anything. So you could just go do something else. So, but the thing is, people tune in and they love the bitch. And as listen, I said the show is way too long. It needed to be cut down to 3 hours in total. That includes the pre-show for 30 minutes. So he does the pre-show where they already did like 4 awards during that and reveals. Yeah. And then they did another 3 hour and 10-minute show on top of that. I'm like, dude, way too long. You lose the people after.
So it was almost 4 hours.
Yeah, dude, it was almost 4 hours. So, and then of course, like, when I finished my live stream at the end, I did like a 20-minute recap. I shut everything down, whatever. So it was just me and the audience, and we were talking. And then we just had our little breakdown, and like I say, okay, well, do an overview, and then of course we did more in-depth reviews as the weekend went on. But the thing is, at the end of the day, he's got to pay for all that stuff. So in order to do that, he's got to get all those sponsorships. He's got to get those trailers. Got to get that all in there. But what ends up having to happen is they have to tighten up some of the musical numbers. Everybody loves the Fluke guy. The guy went viral on YouTube, so you got to keep the Fluke guy. The Fluke guy's doing his thing. That means the orchestra's got to be there. I actually thought the orchestral numbers were great, but some of them a little bit too long. But then also don't forget they took commercial breaks. And I get that too. He's got to pay for his stuff. But remember, there were actual like commercial breaks where like AMD did commercials and stuff like that while they took like a little break in the show. But I don't know. Like, I mean, I think the amount of actual awards was actually not that bad in terms of, the number of awards given out. I think it's all the fluff in between. Like, too much fluff in between. Like, I love the Muppets more than anything, okay? I adore the Muppets. But at the same time, like, you didn't have to do literally 8 minutes of Muppets, and then never mind all the back and forth.
I missed the whole Ralph and was it Ralph and Miss Piggy? Or I didn't really get to see that. They did like a cabaret number at one point about making fun of the Game Awards and stuff like that. That chews up a lot of time, and hopefully some of the Muppet stuff's been really funny. Like, I've laughed my head off, but were you laughing? No, it's funny because, like I said, I love the Muppets too, dude. But like, at some point, maybe crack a joke here and there, or whatever. Maybe incorporate a musical number with that instead of making fun of the gamers in the Game Awards or whatever, like they did, like what Rolf was doing, when he was making fun of the Game Awards. That went on for like 8 to 9 minutes if you include the talking that the two of them interacted. Miss Piggy and Rolf were interacting before they started the song. So I'm like, dude, that's a lot of time. Are you saying this because, just to be, as honest and transparent with our audience as possible, that what you actually want is for them to hire you and I to stand in the balcony like those two old men, dude, and just make fun of Jeff Keighley and all the other stuff? 100%, dude. I absolutely am going to do that. I think that's a great idea. And then on top, I think that would be perfect. I'll be like, I can see his bald spot from here, and you'd be like, Colt, I can see your bald spot from here. Yeah, exactly. And listen, we're gonna have, it's gonna be you,
me, and then right below us is going to be Blind King 84, and then we're just going to pour our drinks on him when the lights go dim, so they can't see that it's from us. And so, anyways, that's what I think we should do. I think Colteastwood and I should be like the co-hosts of there. We sit up in the corner, we do our thing, and I think it'd be great. But listen, the Game Awards itself,
I like the show.
I like the show very much, and this show was even better produced. The stage design was excellent. The visual effects that they put on the stage was great. Even at the end, when they have all the sparks and all the stuff coming down on the stage and doing all its thing, while the orchestra was playing all the songs from all the Game of the Year nominations or whatever. That was fantastic. That's what Flute Guy was playing the giant PVC flutes and standing up and going wild.
Yeah, I did a lot of griping, but of course I'm going to watch the show because I always like the Game Awards show. I love that he has a platform for reveals, but when the end of the night when I'm exhausted, like I saw somebody in the chat said, Eamon2K11 said, it was great. I was there and it's done by 8 o'clock and then you can walk to the bars. It's amazing. I thought if I was there, like most adults want an intermission 2 hours into a show when you're in a theater. Let us get up, use the bathroom, go get a drink or go grab something to eat, come back for the second part of the show because it's pretty long. But maybe that's for really, really old people who can't wear Depends yet. But I don't know. When I just look at the show, I thought you could make it almost perfect if you trim down 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and just said, because that's what a producer does when you're producing a big show. They look at the whole schedule of the whole entire show and they're like, this has to be good there cannot be a lull in the moment. Like we try to do this as a show, like when you and I do shows and this podcast, we try to keep it moving. And I've noticed if we're talking about something that's dragging, hopefully this isn't, that you got to pick it back up.
No, not at all.
But I don't know. I'm sure there's a board somewhere in a room, weeks before where Jeff's got everything blocked out. And, but you never know, like, that the Bradley the Badger was this game that's like a Conquer meets Conquer meets Astrobot type game. It's like really cool. And maybe Jeff looks at that Badger game and he's like, oh man, people are just gonna be like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then it goes up on the screen and everyone's like yelling and screaming like this is hilarious. Like you never know, like the High on Life reveal. People were yelling like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. There's always a moment like that, but maybe Jeff looks at everything, and I guess I would too if I was putting together a show. You could be easily excited. Okay. Everything looks so good. All these reveals are amazing, and even the stuff that was like Batman, even though we'd already seen it, it was a great showing. So
yeah, but you have to. You also need that. Also, you need some of those filler. I don't want to call them fillers. That's not really fair. But what you look at something like Batman, for example. Batman has literally universal. Everybody knows what Batman is. It's a universal brand. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. And so you got to have something in there that's going to bring in everybody, like the normies and everything else. Oh, I know who Batman is. Not everybody knows who the Badger is, right? But everybody knows Batman. So you got to put something in there that everybody knows. That's why I was actually surprised that we didn't get to see more from PlayStation and Xbox in terms of, like, let's say Wolverine, because it's funny. If you watch the trailer that started, the hype trailer that started at the beginning of the Game Awards, they showed like some of those the first party games from Xbox and PlayStation, and they never showed up at the show at all, right? So I thought that was kind of funny. But either way, you have to have those games that have the universal appeal. Plus, let's not forget, at the end of the day, no matter what the game is, they paid their money for the time slot. So you got to put them in there. But what I'm thinking is the only way to get around some of that is some of the fluff in between. So when you've got Jar Jar Abrams coming out and he's yapping away about, like, this, that, and other bullshit crap, and you know what I mean? Like, it's like, dude, just shut the F up and show us your mediocre game. Okay? Show us your mediocre game. You're not Steven Spielberg. You failed.
Meg, I want to do this organically like we do. I love it that you bring that up because I want to talk about some of the crazy moments and the games. And so now would be a great time since you're on a roll. I never got to ask you, what do you think of For Loop? And you got to kind of reset the audience who may not know what that is or what it was. But J.J. Abrams is making a game with Jerry Springer or somebody. But go ahead. What is it?
It's Jerry Springer. Who cares? And like, I looked at it, I was just like,
well, what is it? Like, reset for the audience. Like,
here's another. It's another extraction shooter.
Okay.
right? And it's being made by Bad Robot, and of course it's being headed up by Jar Jar Abrams, excuse me.
And it's 4-player co-op, and what happens at the beginning of the match?
Oh, I can't remember. My brain tuned out at that point. I was just like, okay, dude.
Meg, like when you start the match, you come in on a pod, and then you get out of a pod, and you're in 4-player co-op. What does that sound like? Fair games.
Yeah.
No, Helldivers.
So you know what I mean? It's just like, what are they doing? Yeah, and so like I don't know. I didn't find those to be very exciting. Like those things could have been shaved down if.
Hold on, Meg. Meg, stay on topic.
Yeah.
What did you 4-player co-op? You're in like a neighborhood shooting aliens or something. It's like a Helldivers slash.
I don't know what it is. That's why I didn't know.
Like, what do you think of it? Like when you saw it, what were you thinking? And it's a PlayStation exclusive. You pony.
I was thinking that it's not going to do well. That's all I was thinking. Like I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, it looks comparable. The graphics look all right. Whatever. The gameplay looks decent. I'm like, but do we really need like? And honestly, that even the audience that was watching this show with me, they're all saying the same thing. I'm like, do we really need another one of these? You know what I mean? It's just like I don't know, man. I just, but again, we. Change its name to 4chan. We talked about it last week. Is that when Sony went on this this sort of rant in the early part of the generation or mid part of the generation about doing this games as a service stuff, right? But now they've kind of wised up a little bit, and we talked about that last XNC. We're like, well, you know what? Now they're washing their hands of it. They're doing the Pontius Pilate. They're like, all right, dude, if it fails, it's on you. We're just going to help you out. You know what I mean? We're going to put it on the system and whatever, but it won't have the Sony name attached to it, so to speak, like, for example, Concord did, and that stink is still on them for, you know what I mean, for all intents and purposes. Yeah. So I think at this point, they walk away from those things. Now, you've got you've got Bad Robot, you've got Jar Jar Abrams, and those are like big names. Right, so
Garflog says it's not an extraction game. I don't know what you would call it.
Oh, the Left 4 Dead guy. That's who it is. That's we were trying to remember who it is.
That's right.
We kept saying it's the.
I'm
Left
sorry,
4 Dead
that doesn't excite me. Sorry, I liked Left 4 Dead for a few minutes back in the day. I played the game for a couple weeks, and I'm kind of tired. They're great
Project
games.
Scorpio.
It's always weird when you hear someone who made something amazing back in 2009. You're like, oh, he's making a new game. And you're like, that's like asking me to do something cool. I'm just way too old to be cool anymore.
No, man. Like Left 4 Dead was fun. There's no question. It was fun. And 1 and 2 were fun. But at the end of the day, after I was done with it, I was done with it. And it didn't like it wasn't the kind of thing that stuck in my mind forever. And then that Back 4 Blood was a disaster. Like I tried playing that game on Game Pass.
Back to Bed.
Ugh. Yeah, Back to Bed is right. Holy cow.
Okay, one of the questions that's really been weighing on everyone's minds about the show, this is total like derailment of what we're talking about, Mag, but I got to get your opinion about Erika Ishii, the Ghost of Yotei actress, who was very flamboyantly excited and seemed to be pretty dang happy to be there. Did you get a glimpse of her during the show?
Ursula?
And what she was wearing? I didn't realize till after the show was over.
Yeah, Ursula, like from The Little Mermaid.
Oh gosh.
The one with the giant bowl of popcorn. The first thing I said, I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, why did she get to bring in popcorn? I didn't see anybody else eating popcorn. That was the number one. And number two, if you play Ghost of Yotei, they don't even look alike. I mean, there's some similar features, but I'm like,
well,
did
not
she
now.
gain 180 pounds?
Yeah, so did I.
Like like I'm looking at her, and that's why I didn't recognize her, because I'm playing the game. And so you look at the game, she looks like, you know, an average sized human being or whatever. And then you saw Ursula, and I'm like, who's that? Why do they keep showing this person? And then as you kind of get through all the makeup and the whatever, you're like, oh my God, that's her. And I didn't even recognize her. So I'm assuming I don't know, whatever. I don't know what kind of attention you were seeking but obviously you were seeking attention. Nobody shows up at like everybody's dressed up in a certain way or whatever. And you come in looking like a rodeo clown. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like
she was wearing,
please tell me.
She was wearing like a Tsushima or a Yotei, like Ghost of Yotei outfit. She was wearing actually like a samurai like dress, slightly modified to show some more cleavage.
She looked ridiculous.
But she had her hair up higher than I used to have mine.
Like Ursula, like from
So
Little
I
Mermaid.
took a screenshot when I saw her.
Unfortunate souls.
Higher!
Keep singing.
Keep singing.
Yeah. No.
Flotsam and
Good night,
jetsam.
kid.
Yeah, she was eating popcorn. Like she must have been like really stoked. But when I spotted her, I took a screenshot during the stream, and I was like, "Goes to Yotei," and sent it out, and everyone was making fun of her. And then my screenshot, Mag, I don't mean to brag, but my screenshot got shared by everyone. Like people just grabbed it from my tweet and were making posts and then remixing it and AI mixing it and stuff. There was a moment when they announced the best actor or actress for the year, and they named Jennifer English, who's from Claire Expedition 33, which we'll talk about that whole thing in a minute. And she was holding the popcorn and eating, and she did like the Arsenio Hall, like, woo, 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 woo thing. And everyone's like, oh, look at her. Look at her. She thought she was going to win. I'm like, she looks like she was having a really fun time, like enjoying the moment, not sure if she would win anything. Had one of the biggest games of the year. I don't know.
By the way, Grandpa Barbecue, no, I wasn't body shaming her. I was saying that because I didn't recognize her. Because like when you play the game,
she did look different.
She looked completely different. That's what I'm saying. I was looking at two different human beings, and I was like, "Who the hell is that?" And then after staring at her for a while, I'm like, "Oh crap, that's actually her." So I'm like, obviously they either, like I said, she either gained a ton of weight, or she was always like that, and they just like scanned somebody else for the physical part of the game. That's what I was saying. I wasn't body shaming.
Meg did something very similar to me. I had my picture on Bumble, and when I showed up at the restaurant, he was like, "I'm here to see someone else." And I'm like, "Aren't you Meg?" And he's like, and he drew a mustache.
I should have swiped
right.
Like,
I mean,
is it swipe right or swipe left? I don't even know.
Else.
Yeah.
I can literally see you putting the Sharpie on your upper lip, Meg.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking, and it goes like this. Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was like a little bit she looked like she was having a good time, clearly. And that's fine. She's great, having a great time. It's just it just seemed like she was like attention seeking a little bit.
People already hate her.
People already hate her for that's a whole political thing, but we're not gonna get into that. But like the Expedition 33 people, that was funny. Like they showed up in the French outfits with the berets and stuff.
They were so happy.
What was funny is at the beginning of the show, when just the one guy was on stage, I was going buck wild. I was like, "What the is this guy wearing?" Because I didn't see the rest of them. I thought it was just him, and I'm like, I thought
the French outfit. You mean?
Yeah, the French outfit. So I'm like, I know, like in 1930s, like Warner Brothers cartoons, they used to make all the French guys look like that. I'm like, why is this guy actually like dressed up in the 1930s like WB cartoons like stereotype outfit? But I didn't see the rest of
that's racist. That's racist to dress like that. Then I smack him upside the head. No, it's not. When we were at PAX in September.
But I didn't see the rest of them dressed like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's a gag. I get it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't get it because I thought it was just the one dude.
When we were at PAX in September in Seattle, there's like, I don't know, 3,000 people that attend, or I don't know what the number is. And we saw 60 to 70 different people wearing that outfit or a variation. And I was like, what? They'd have like a baguette taped to their shoulder or on their back or something. I'm like, what? Is that like the easy costume? I don't get it. And then it occurred to me, it's like, oh, duh, because Expedition 33 is like March or April of that year. It was months before. And I think we asked like a stranger, like, what's with the French thing? They're like, Claire Expedition. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Duh. Because that outfit's in the game, but not a lot of people are wearing that outfit. But anyway.
Yeah.
It was fun. People that are. Yeah, and there's people that are mad that Claire Expedition 33 swept the Game Awards. And I thought I'd ask your opinion about, and you guys in the chat, what you think about it being fair that one game could get so many awards and not leave some for Kojima.
If the game is good and the game deserves it, then the game gets it. You know what I mean? Like look at like Return of the King at the Academy Awards. Holds the record for most Academy Awards. You know what I mean? If it's good, it's good. Like, what are you going to do? But I have questions, and this is a solid question. I do have a question about this. What exactly, and this is something that I haven't been able to, I've been digging in for the last like 2-3 days now, like trying to see what other YouTubers are saying, what people, articles and stuff like that. And everybody has their opinions, which of course is totally fair. And but what I'm trying to figure out is what truly constitutes an independent game? Like what what is, and that was my only thing, because not because I was being accusatory. Sure, I was making some jokes and stuff on the live stream because I'm entertaining people. We're having fun, and everybody was having a few laughs and this and that, and that's what we do, right? Even here, like we just have a few laughs, make fun of people, have some fun, whatever. Nobody takes it too seriously. At least I hope not. But like, you know what I mean? It's but the thing
Except
is, at the end of the day, everybody yeah. Like if I go after someone in the chat, we're just having fun. And you know, and whatever. But unless it's Magnum, yeah, Magnum's a scumbag. But either way, and he's my moderator on my channel, so which was a big mistake, by the way. But anyway,
love him.
The thing, yeah, Magnum's awesome. So the thing is that what constitutes an independent game at this point? So I had some YouTubers saying, yeah, it's considered an independent game of this and that, whatever. And they look at it and they're like, yep, no, it follows this criteria. But then you have other YouTubers going, well, wait a second. It was still published by, well, I mean, all independent games are published by a publisher or whatever. I get all that. But they also had investment from the Chinese, by the way, it was Sandfall.
I didn't know that.
There was a chunk of money. Yeah, I found that out yesterday or today. I can't remember. And there was a chunk of money actually invested from the Chinese. It was also outsourced to several other studios to work, not several, but other studios to work on the title as well. Very similar to a AA or AAA experience, right? Something that you would see like in a bigger game. Like, what do? They outsource to different developers, right? For different reasons. So I'm like, okay, so now you're outsourcing to different developers. You're getting funding from outside. You got Hollywood stars in the game. You've got all this, you know what I mean? And you've got all these things. And I'm like, does that still fit in there as an independent game? It doesn't seem like it. Like, right? So, like, I don't know the answer to that.
That's one of the 9 awards I got was...
I'm saying that was my only thing. So the other awards, fine. Like, they won it for, you know, the 2 of them won for
I guess
the voice acting and all that kind of
stuff. I guess it'd be fair if just the 30 people made the game and they got Game of the Year, I suppose. But, you know, It
like
Takes
independent
Two...
funding.
Yeah, like It Takes Two was... You know, well, he didn't get an indie game, I don't think, but you know, a lot of people worked on that, not just that one guy. You know, I don't know. That's one award, I suppose, but you know, like the idea. This is definitely a Gen X thing. The idea that, you know, leave some awards for other people. What, you wanted a participation trophy? Like, you got nominated, and. Right. People are really upset about Hideo Kojima's reaction to the final win that was for Game of the Year by Claire Expedition 33. And he did this like smile and clap and looked over at his friend next to him or whoever it was. And everyone was roasting Kojima for being salty. And when I watched it, I'll get you a participation trophy, Dante, as long as we play some more 76 together. I watched it and I didn't think Kojima had a bad reaction. Like, what do? Like, you spent years on a game. You fly all the way from Japan to LA to sit at the Game Awards. You're hoping you walk away with something. And Kojima went the whole 3.5 hour night with not one single award, not for sound design, not for performance capture, anything. And at the very end, it came down to the one. And I think Kojima... I'm going to stand up for Kojima right here. Death Stranding 2 is a pretty good game. The first one I think is a little bit better, but I'm going to stand up for him because he flew 18 hours, the whole thing, and when they said, and now announcing the Game of the Year for 2025 goes to, and I think in his head he was like, of course it's Claire Expedition. Of course it is. And when they said it, he goes, he does that like kind of that scoff laugh. Of course it is. And You could be interpreted. Some sort of, it's like Shaq eating the hot chip. I'm not going to make a face. I didn't make a face.
Ooh, you know he does that. Ooh, yeah. No, the thing, I love that. Yeah, it is that. Ooh, I mean that could
be
like
the face you made when I walked in the bar on that Bumble date.
Like, I've seen how Kojima, like, I saw like people like zooming in and like slow motioning his facial reactions and stuff, and I'm like, how do you interpret exactly what he was saying, though, or what he was thinking? He might have just been like, well deserved. Or he could have been saying, they don't deserve it. Or he might have been saying, Yeah, figures they'll win another one. We don't know. So like just interpreting just like just one little facial feature in his mouth, I don't buy that either.
Put yourself in his size 5 shoes, Mag. What do you think? What do you think the reaction was if you're Kojima? Like, what's your thought? Do you think it's like, of course they won? I want to hear what you think his thought was.
I don't know. Like,
on.
I mean, I saw him make a little smirk. I just saw him make a little smirk. He's a little eccentric. There's no question. But like, I mean, I saw him make a little smirk. But like, who the hell knows what that even means? That's like when people misinterpret the context of a text message, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I could text you, Colt, why aren't you here? And I might be saying that in an endearing manner, like, Colt, why aren't you here? But then all of a sudden you read it and you go, why aren't you here? Why is he being angry? What the hell is his problem?
That's why we don't text our spouses.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I mean? That's exactly what it is. It's the same thing. It's like trying to interpret the emotional context of a text message. And that's exactly what his face meant to me. To me, it meant nothing. I was just like, okay. I mean, people are just interpreting it for one way or the other way. And I think it's silly. I just was like, no, that's ridiculous.
Imagine putting...
I don't know.
Imagine putting 5 years of your full-time life and your creation into something, flying all the way to the Game Awards from Washington or Japan or wherever, and not making a fudging face when they announce that you didn't win. I would love to see... Everyone's always like the big warrior behind Twitter on their phone, but I would love to see you not make a face when you eat that hot chip and they announced Claire Exposition beat you in every possible award, because PlayStation was nominated for 19 awards at the Game of the Year Awards, which I think they might have been one of the top publishers ever nominated, and they didn't win a single award. Yeah, pretty crazy. I don't know whose poker face would be immaculate, but
I mean, okay, now let me bring up another thing. You remember last year when people were taking that screenshot? I made a joke about it, whatever, but that's what I do. I make jokes. People take it seriously, whatever, but most people didn't. They understood what it was. There was that picture of Booty, Spencer, and what's his face there?
Sarah.
Greenberg. No, it was Greenberg.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah wasn't there last year. So the three of them were sitting there. Remember when Astrobot won? And the look on their faces? And I'm like, they might have just been tired. And everybody was like, look at how
it's a
pissed
bad time
off.
to be on camera tired.
You know what I mean? It's like, look at how pissed off they are. I'm like, they might have just been listening to the acceptance speech, you know? Like, I don't understand that how you have to have a specific face like this. Like, do you have to have that face while they're winning? Or can you just have like a face where you're just staring and listening to something, and it may be interpreted as, oh, look, there's Phil Spencer pissed off, and Aaron Greenberg and Matt Booty. And you remember that? It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing.
I remember the Phil Spencer face when he did like the shrugging face. Like, I think they said, and Xbox's Party Animals was like their big reveal in 2023 or 2022. I can't remember. And that, like, Phil's doing that, like, that's us, you know. It's like, yikes.
But like, you don't know what that face means. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, that face could be a million things. Like, we don't know his character, like, exactly. We just see what we see on screen, the corporate side. I mean, you don't know what he's like behind.
It's our fun, and it's our right to read into it a little bit, right? But
read into it. Sure. It's fun for online speculation, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know how it always goes, Colt. You can have fun online speculation. However, shout out to Mav. Sorry, I said fun speculation. But anyway, the thing is, people always, as with everything, take things too far. And that's why they just ruin the internet. They just take things way too far in one direction. Yeah. You're like, oh, come on. Because like, if you actually look up the conspiracy theories for Expedition 33, did you see all that stuff coming out? I know that Side Scrollers was talking about, shout out to them. They were talking about that. Clownfish was talking about it. And there's like all these conspiracy theories about, I won't say on the air, but if you guys look it up, I don't want to get, Colt in trouble. But you know what I mean? Like, you just look up Expedition 33 conspiracy theories, and there's all this stuff out there with that. And I'm like, guys, there's one thing to have fun. There's one thing to speculate. And there's a whole other thing to take things so effing far in a direction where you're like, you just need help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and Meg's being very vague. I appreciate that, but you
No,
can
I'm not
say
gonna
it. They're
say
just accusing them of being racist, and that's the easiest way to say it. And it just
Oh no, there was
I can't
other
believe
stuff
it
in there
goes.
too.
Yeah, and I can't believe it goes this far. I'm going to read some super chats. You guys I appreciate your support and asking questions and everything. Noriko94, thank you so much for the $2 two-pan super chat. Says, what are your most anticipated games for 2026? I'm only going to allow Mag and I to say 2 in the interest of time. Mag, what are your 2 most anticipated? And I'm going to read your mind, and I already know. Go ahead. Do you want me to tell you what yours are? Your 2. Do you want me to say them?
Clockwork
'Cause I
Revolution.
know.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, obviously my 2. I can't make 2. That's really difficult.
You only get 2,
I can give
and
you
I'm going to
4.
guess them.
Can I give you 4? Because there's like 25 hot games coming out.
Can I guess your top 2?
Sure, go ahead.
Resident Evil Requiem
Absolutely.
and Grand Theft Auto 6.
Absolutely.
Okay, what else you got?
Forza Horizon 6 and Wolverine.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, that is tough to only do 2. I think my highest
It's
would
dude.
probably
There's so
be-
many games. Sorry,
There
go
are
ahead.
so many.
Let me hear yours.
Yeah.
Let me hear yours. Give me 4. Give me 4.
Okay, yeah, because there's so many obvious. Crimson Desert,
Yeah,
Gears
that's
E-Day.
right.
Forza Horizon 6.
Oh, sorry. What was the second one?
Gears E-Day,
Gears E-Day.
Forza
Sorry,
Horizon
yeah.
6,
Okay.
and then, I'm not going to say Grand Theft Auto 6. It's a given, so I'm going to throw in Wolverine.
But that's not fair. Because then I get another shot.
We could just go all day. I want another game to say.
We
It's
sound
so
like
insane.
children.
Yeah.
Okay, now think about this, Colt. Think about what we just talked about now. All right, what we just said. There's too many big games because a lot of third-party games coming out in 2026. On top of what's coming out of first-party publishers, whatever, from both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
Now think about this. How does that now fit in with what I just said about what we said an hour ago about putting too many Xbox published games out into the wild when you've got all that third party out there that's going to be eating up people's time as well. You want to maximize your dollar, you want to maximize your profit, and by doing so, you can't shove everything in the same thing because you're going to force customers into making decisions, and you'd rather them not make decisions, you'd rather buy as much as humanly possible. But by doing so, it's called the buffet effect. What happens in a buffet? Nobody gets one. Did you try the lasagna? Nobody gets every single thing in the buffet. You get to a buffet here in Canada. We have a Chinese buffet called the Mandarin. Hugely successful, amazing, absolutely top notch. Right? But I eat the same 5 things. Right? I go and I pick my favorite things or whatever because there's no chance in hell I could do all of it. When you give human beings too much of a choice, they go back to default settings. That's what I like to call it. And consumers do the same thing. So if Xbox now has a new division of their business plan, which is selling third-party games to PlayStation and Switch, then because they're already doing PC. In order to maximize that, you cannot shove everything in there, and you can't. In that respect, you just can't shove everything into 1 year and whatever. You got to space it out a little bit. So that's why I don't think you're going to see some of those games. Like we'll talk about other ones like Fable and stuff later on. I have a feeling I know why they're going to be showing Fable at the summer event. Is because they're going to say, well, it's actually easier for people to swallow that it's coming in 27 if you only have half a year left of 26, right? So, you know what I mean?
But that developer direct with no Fable on it is going to be like a major...
Well, didn't Booty Cheek say something about that, though?
He did.
He said we're going to see Playground?
The gaming media postured Fable on every single clip. They put Fable and Forza Horizon 6 as their pictures. They said, you're going to see something from Playground. And I think that Matt Booty should have set expectations if he knows that Fable is like a 2027 release. But that's something I'll probably have to get into in my next video because there's a lot to say there.
Right.
Aero Nation TV, thank you for the $2 super says, Xbox marketing needs to, market. Yeah.
Well, they have no choice now because now you've opened up. Now you've got your big bangers this year. You had a bunch of big bangers last year, but now you've got your premier titles, your Gears, your Forzas, right? Of course, you already have the Call of Duty thing going on or whatever else, and then the Halo thing, right? So now that you're doing all that, now you're really going to have to ramp it up because you're not advertising to Xbox and PC gamers who are already there or already know about it. You will be advertising to them, absolutely. But now you've got to really ramp up because now you're selling across the pond and they know that there's a ton of money to make there. How many times do I have to say that Forza Horizon 5, a 3-year-old racing game, sold 3 million copies in the first 17 days on the PlayStation? You don't think Xbox knows that? They damn well know that. They're going to have Forza Horizon 6 posters all over Japan because it's in Japan. They're going to open up a market there. China. All right, it's going to be huge. Right? And then they're going to have stuff all over the place. They're going to get all those PlayStation people over there, as well as the people that are on Game Pass and engaging on PC and whatever else, right? It's going to be a monster game, and they're going to have to do monster marketing. Why does Coca-Cola, after 100 and whatever years, still advertise during the Super Bowl? Everybody and their mothers know what Coca-Cola is, but they still have to advertise every Super Bowl and spend whatever $10 million for every 30 seconds or whatever. They do that because they have to keep pushing that forward to keep that in the forefront of your mind and in the mindset of the gaming consumer. That's all I have to say about it.
Okay. Yeah,
sorry, I had to go on that, but it was important to go on that because we were talking about our favorite games of the year, or most anticipated for 26. Give 27 some love too, man.
I don't know what marketing you guys want. It's a whole other discussion because, they just need to do more. Darth Dunford, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, Merry Christmas, Colt and Mag. Do you guys have any Christmas gaming traditions? I love seasonal stuff in games like Fortnite or even Battlefield 6. Love the show. Appreciate you. Christmas traditions that we do. Let me think. It's really been mixed up lately, but we don't open up the main presents till the morning, and we open up a couple things on Christmas Eve. But my family used to open up everything Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve, when I grew up, used to be the best thing ever. Everything that was wrapped under the tree when I grew up was under the tree. And then in the morning, my mom and dad would just put the stuff in the stockings, like not even wrapped. Like the toys were just in there. That was amazing. Meg, what do you have for Christmas traditions?
Well, we switch families every year. We have it organized with my two brothers and their families. So in-laws gets Christmas Day one year and then Christmas Eve with the other family the other year. This year happens to be Christmas Eve is going to be with the in-laws, which will be up north at my brother-in-law's cottage. So we're going to do that for 2 days. We're going to go skiing up there, have some fun, and party it up or whatever. Then on the 23rd, that's on the 22nd. That's the Monday, so I won't be here. The 23rd, we're actually doing the Christmas dinner with their side of the family, have a big old party, do some karaoke and drinking and tons of eating, and basically be a Viking for like 2 days. Come home, Christmas Eve, we're going to chill. Presents already wrapped, everything's done. And then Christmas Day, we're going to my parents' house. And then, what we do in the morning, we do our presents first, and then we pack up the car with the other presents, going to the other side, to my brothers and their kids and everything else, and then we go to my parents' house, and then I have a big feast over there, and then that's that. So that's usually the tradition. Now, we used to do in the older days when my grandmother, she's turning 90 this year, but she's still cooking and still doing whatever. It's just the burden of having to cook for 20-something people is, even with us helping, is still a burden. So we used to do always, before we got married, all of us, Christmas Eve was always at my grandmother's, and it was always a seafood feast because Italians on Christmas Eve by tradition don't eat meat. So I mean, I know fish is meat, but you know what I'm saying. So it would just be seafood, and we'd have a huge seafood banquet, and it was awesome. And we would stay there till like 1 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes we'd walk over to the church like across the street where they would do like midnight sing-alongs and stuff. And we would do that, go back to their house until like 1 in the morning. Everybody's drinking wine and eating seafood and smoking cigars and having a great old time. And oh man, it was amazing. And there'd be like 30 people in the house. And then all the neighbors would all walk from door to door, almost like carolers, except they were just drunk carolers bringing more wine and whatever. And everybody would just come in, hang out for a half an hour, do a couple of drinks, and then go to the next house. And you got to see the whole damn neighborhood, man. And that's when things were amazing. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was great growing up for Christmas time. And,
Seth Monsters. Sorry, he just said something funny in the chat. That was great. Yeah. Shout out to 78 Inc., man.
Yeah, shout out. My boy. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Biff Rinaldi says, maybe the Game Awards was trimmed down from 5 hours. Laugh out loud. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Maybe it was. Yeah.
Dude, you're fighting for people. You're fighting for people's attention, and I get all that. But the thing is, there's a threshold for there's a threshold for like how much attention you can have. Like, for example, I'm doing the live stream. Yes, I'm interacting with the audience. We had a great time. We had a ton of people show up. It was really great. But there's only so much the mind can handle. Like at the 3-hour mark, the F-bombs started dropping. I started getting antsy. I left at one point. I literally just left my own show. I'm like, guys, I'll be back in like 3 minutes, man. I just got to go for a walk. And I just like walked around the house, went to the bathroom, reloaded my water. Like, come on, man.
Well, I mean, I didn't really look. It doesn't. Maybe the viewership doesn't really drop off. So he's like, well, it kind of holds strong pretty much the whole show. So I could be wrong. Yotei Gonzalez says the Game Awards was cheeks. Clapped out, I tell you. Thanks for the 2. Appreciate it. Me Puppet and KJ Wars, thank you for joining the channel membership. KY Bob, my good friend with the $2 super chat, says, how many more subs for the next YouTube plaque cult? Well, 1 million, basically.
Yeah. That's
800,000. Yeah.
Do they do a plaque for 800?
827,000 or something like that. Yeah, they do one at 1 million.
It's a specific number.
It's 1 million. It looks like that one, which kind of gets blown out on the camera, but that one's silver, a brushed silver, and it'll be it'll be a matte gold, I think. But 1 million subs, I mean, I would have to have like some gigantic scandal to get there. That'll be a long time. Yodani Kazada, thank you for the 5, says, whose leather jacket would you rather sniff? This is a good question. Todd Howard or Jensen Huang from NVIDIA? Who wears theirs more? Have you seen Jensen Huang? Huang, I think is how you say that. Jensen Huang. No. Yeah. Have you seen him where he's got this slick leather jacket? Yeah, but anyway.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Todd's, because then I can get some Starfield. Get some Starfield 2.0 action going. Grumpy old fart, thank you so much for the 5. Says, hi! Like that. Skywalk. Skywalk with the 5. Thank you so much for the super. Says, Colt, rumor has it that you like to play Tiddlywinks, and Mag likes to only watch, but complain you're playing it wrong. What's up, guys? Tiddlywinks is an old... Now, that's an old reference. Like, they're old, like, 1970s or 80s toys. The old Tiddlywinks, I think.
Yeah, I remember what Tiddlywinks were, yeah.
What was the thing with the sticks and the little wooden circle you put the... Was that...
Oh, my God. Tinker Toys.
Tinker Toys. Tinker Toys. Yeah. Yeah. I never actually owned those. And then, the logs with the little notches, and you could build little log cabins. Growing up in the 80s was awesome. Lotus Esprit, thank you so much for a channel membership that you gifted. I didn't see who it went to, but thank you. BT Maverick with a $5 super chat says, 12 awards went to Game Pass Day 1 titles, dispelling the false narrative of Game Pass fodder, showing why Game Pass is the best gaming sub we're eating, he says. And Meg says, you give people too much choice, and they kind of like crash out.
I'm talking about outside of the model.
But I do that with Game Pass. There's too much to look at. I'm like, so what I end up doing is looking at the 12 most recent games that are released, and I'm like, I don't want to play any of those, so it's like...
well, it's kind of like when you get a streaming service. You go to Netflix, 25,000 movies to watch, and what do, Colt? You scroll for 25 minutes and then fall asleep. And you never watch
or get on your phone and watch reels that Mag sent me is what I do.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank goodness there's a show that I'm currently watching, so we just go over to that streaming service and go to the show and sit down and just watch. There's nothing worse than getting food ready to sit down to watch a show with my wife, and we don't know what we're watching, so it's awesome that we're watching a show right now. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat wants to know our quick thoughts on No Law, and before I have Mag tell me what he thinks of it, it's made by the team that made The Ascent, and if you haven't played The Ascent, after its first initial patch, it has an untethered photo mode because the game is only isometric. Now, for the people who don't know, Mag knows what Ascent is. We both played it. It is an isometric cyberpunk twin stick shooter that did Cyberpunk better than Cyberpunk 2077 that year. Like, it was a better game in tone, right? But you can only see your character from up high. But if you went into photo mode, you can bring the camera down to eye level and fly through the city, and everything was rendered. And I have some incredible capture of that. Hopefully I still have those because I'm going to put them in a new video. So No Law is a first-person cyberpunk game by this team. Mag, what do you know? What are you expecting? What are your thoughts on it?
That's a day one. Whether I Game Pass it or purchase it, most likely purchase it. It looks fantastic. I'm really excited for it. The Ascent, I did play on Game Pass, and I got that. Remember I told you about that? I got 900 and something out of 1,000 achievements, but I couldn't get that last one because the achievement was not the achievement, but the mission was glitched. So there's the dude standing there that you have to go talk to in order to like complete the mission, and it wouldn't let me talk to him. And so, and apparently it was a known glitch, and I never went back to it because I got soured on it by that point.
Like you go up and
like,
you can't interact with him. I think I've seen that before.
Yes, that's the one,
Yeah.
and it literally kept me from getting the 1,000 out of 1,000. That's how good that game was. I love the Ascent, so that was one of those rare moments where I did like 1,000, at almost damn near 1,000 of 1,000 on a Game Pass game, because I tend to like just play those games, kind of finish it, and move on to something else. But that one,
yeah. I didn't think I was going to finish it. Yeah.
Well, it got its talons in me, and I couldn't stop playing it. And I was just like, this game is fantastic. And
Great
I
sound
loved
design.
it. I adored the game.
Combat and the way you destroyed stuff was amazing. The verticality in the levels it was just so cool. And, you know, you got to wonder, can this team, Neon Giant, I think they're called. That's off the top of my head. I think that's what they're called. Can they do a first-person combat like campaign? Hey, probably. I mean, I guess you only need a couple of people.
See why not.
I mean, here's how you do first-person combat, and like, how's this feel? Looks good to me.
They got the chops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got the chops.
Is that an indie? The Ascent. I think it might have been at the time. This one might be an indie as well. This No Law, but I think it really won people over, right?
Yeah, it did. It was a highlight. It wasn't the highlight of highlights because there were a lot of highlights at the show. I mean,
we'll
regardless of what people think, but but there were a lot of highlights in the show. But I mean, that was definitely one that was like, okay, it's there. I see you. You're just not making my top 5, but I see you because I love the Ascent. So I mean, there was just other games that took priority. That's.
And we have like 4 Cyberpunk games lately. Like we haven't really had. It's not a genre that gets tapped as often as we would want. 78 Incorporated, thank you so much for the 5. Says, I want to hear, see, taste, feel more about Star Wars, Fate of the Old Republic.
Hell, yes.
I never saw this coming, Mag. You probably know more about this franchise than I do. Tell everybody how you reacted to this reveal.
Dude, I was completely shocked.
Wait, first.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm so excited.
You'd probably say this before I did, but this should have been his one last thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's hear
100%. Listen, man, if the chat, we can agree on something tonight, because some of you don't, but that's okay. We're all cool, right? Because, hey, that's what we're allowed to do, differing opinions. I think that absolutely that should have been the one last thing, because my mind, I thought that Half-Life 3, to be quite honest, and the reveal of the Steam machine, like proper, would have been the one last thing to end the show. And I think everybody was kind of thinking the same thing because, you know, everybody and their mothers heard that that they were going to, that there was a rumor that Half-Life 3 was going to show up at the show and then the Steam machine and all that stuff. And then we're like, okay, well, that's got to be the one last thing. And then when we got the one last thing, I'm like, yeah. But when I was watching that trailer, I'm sitting there going, what the hell is this? And I'm like, is it, what is it called? The Beastie Boys song. Intergalactic there from Naughty Dog. I thought it was that because, you know, you see a spaceship, you see a chick's hand like grab the and you know she grabs the whatever the stick there, and then like she's landing the ship, and I'm like, oh, it's got to be Intergalactic, and I'm like, okay, whatever, and they're doing that. You see her walking. I'm like, yeah, it looks like Intergalactic, and then all of a sudden, and when the lightsaber fired up, I was like.
And it was just the sound.
I'm like,
it was only the sound of a lightsaber.
Well, you saw the blue on the side of her face.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, when you watch the trailer again, you could see the blue light up the side of her face, and I'm like, that's a Jedi. And as soon as I heard the sound, and I'm like, I freaked out. I had no idea. Legendary blue, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get 4 XP into those stockings. Get one for Anthony Roberts in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. He seems very sad this Christmas season, so make sure you get him some 4 XP. That might pump him up a little bit.
The pony cast. Hey, you got to have a little pony.
Literally, we're just talking about Xbox for the last hour, but you know the pony cast. But yeah, cool, dude. I'm gonna buy you some 4 XP for your
Look how perfect these would fit in a stocking. Like you buy the variety pack. Go to their website, which is in the description, and buy a variety pack. And then if you have siblings or kids. Like you're old like us, you put one of each in the stocking. You know, watermelon, blue raspberry, and white gummy. Go with 4XP. We appreciate you.
Exactly.
So we don't know about Fate of the Old Republic, but Casey Hudson, the veteran of the Mass Effect trilogy, is working on it. And Jason Schreier goes,
Listen, Earth Clan, that game's not coming out until 2030 at least.
He responded to that.
And then Casey, what did Casey Hudson say to that one?
He said, "Listen, I'm not getting any." He goes, "I see the online talk about the game coming out in the 2030s." He says, "I'm not getting any younger. It's coming out before that. So my guess it'll be somewhere just after the launch of the next generation. So like Project Mag and PS6,
like 2028, like end of 2028."
I think so. Yeah, like after the launch. I mean, like a year after the launch of the new systems. Yeah, I would say 2028. But I mean, you could still get away with 2029 and say, "See, it didn't go to the 2030s." But I mean, that was a huge reveal. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. The other one we weren't expecting, Star Wars related, was made by the Criterion, Need for Speed,
I'm
and
in.
Burnout guys. Oh,
I'm in.
Dude.
I'm in.
What's it called? It's Star Wars Galactic
Racers. I'm in 100%. I'm in 100%.
Meg, did you see what you're driving in those?
Well, they had
Not
like
just
the pod racers
and speeder
Well,
bikes.
what do you mean? Oh,
and
speeder bike. Yeah,
mini-ships.
like yeah. I'm in.
So it doesn't just do one thing. It's like, I don't know.
Let me tell you something. I'm in 100% because if anybody was in that, gamers like that, or older gamers like us, in 1999 they released an incredible game called Pod Racer. Remember that? Like and then they had one in the arcade, and then
it
they
ran
had one
on
the home
anyone's
consoles.
PC back in the day too. Yeah, and on console.
Yeah.
I
had
played
one on
PC.
my dad's PC. Like back then, I was just like, oh yeah. And
All right, let's test your
Racer
metal.
Awesome.
Let's test your metal. You ready?
Like
Who
this
was
kind
the
of metal,
character
or
that
like-
they showed at the end? Yeah. Who was the
Oh,
character they
Sebulba.
showed? Oh, you're so
Bulba. Sebulba, he always wins. I put all my money on Sebulba.
Yeah, that's
You
so
better
good.
be careful, Outlander. Yeah. No, it was Sebulba.
I need
and
to
it was
make a
old man
1
Sebulba.
hour. I need to make a 1 hour edit of the Phantom Menace and take out all the stuff I don't like and just leave the lightsaber battles and the pod race and all that stuff.
that was Sebulba's
I
voice.
remember
that?
in the theater, like seeing that big screen, like fast race is so fun. Yeah, pod
dude,
race
it
is
was
a
awesome.
blast. Yeah,
Pod Racer was a fantastic game, and when I saw this, I was like, "Nope, I'm in 100%." And it comes out 2026, so it comes out next year, and I'm like, "I'm buying that day one, 100%." Pod racing, I'm all for. Yeah, Seth Monster's nice, yippee! I'm buying that day one.
Meg, when someone bitches about gaming and how there isn't anything good, what are we going to tell them next year?
Well, that's because their parents didn't love them as children.
It's crazy next year.
That's it.
What else
That's
we
all
got?
it has. It's got nothing to do with games. It's got nothing to do with Mag. It's got nothing to do with Colteastwood or all these stupid names and all this other crap or Pony this and Colt eats this, that, and the other. Whatever. I saw somebody got banned with that name, by the way. Yeah, Colt eats wood was in the chat earlier and got banned from the chat. Listen, it's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with gaming. It's because their parents didn't read them bedtime stories or they went out for cigarettes and never came back. Okay, that's all it's got to do with. So they're just projecting all of that into gaming to try and make everybody else miserable because you're miserable.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you can afford to play the games you want because there's going to be a lot.
Oh no, we're not talking about buying. We're not talking about affordability. We're just talking about people constantly bitching. And I'm like, if you're not happy here, go find another hobby if you're not happy. I'm very happy in the gaming space. It's wonderful. It's such a great and wonderful thing. Like all the way back from these days, behind me here in these cabinets, and all the way for and like
Yo, Donnie!
Like, get out of here, man.
Yodani says
Go
I
for
met
something
Colt.
else.
Yodani says I met Colt in real life. His nose is way smaller than they show it on Twitter.
That is true. That is true. The Pinocchio nose only comes out when he talks about Xbox sales. That's
We got to talk about the
Wood said this. New video.
We got to talk about the elusive statue that was God of War Egypt. It was Saros. It was anything that could be PlayStation. Like for like a month, it was a PlayStation game. You know, it was Bloodborne 2. It was something that only was going to be on PlayStation, and people were pretty sure it was Lords of Fallen, but it's Divinity, and it's talk about one of the
I
most.
heard it was a Japanese IP, and that was obviously 100% incorrect.
I don't even know.
It's
where
definitely not a
that
Japanese
comes
IP.
There's no crocodiles in Japan. They're it's Bayou Billy. It was Divinity, and probably one of the most vile and disgusting and violent and sexy and gross and lovable, cute and cuddly trailers I've ever seen, Mag. What was your favorite part of the trailer, and go?
Dude, that trailer was highly disturbing.
It was, wasn't it? I was like,
that was highly
were you going
disturbing.
like this?
I'm watching it and I'm going, what the F is going on here? I'm like, this is insane. Like, this is crazy. Like, what the hell are we talking? Like, that was nuts, man. I was like watching them. They got the guy inside the Burning Man or whatever. They already had him beaten and strapped in, and then they're burning him alive. That you literally see his skin falling off of his body,
and they're
and
pulling his arms
well,
off.
what it looks like. Yeah, like his arms peeling off. And like, I've seen people being burned alive, not like in live, but I've seen some things I really shouldn't have on the internet. But it is what it is. What the hell?
Okay,
and I thought there was
going to be a dark moment for Mag where he admits to everybody
no,
that he was in a
I'm talking about like when you
cult.
see those. No, God, no. Like when you come across some of those videos that you like, those execution videos that you shouldn't see.
Do you remember,
don't go searching for them, kids.
Do you remember when we were teenagers, the Faces of Death on VHS?
Yeah, like Faces of Death. Yeah, this is like 10 times worse than that. All you have to look at those drug cartel videos that show up all the time on those websites. But you get like one of those, like someone sends you a link, you're like, oh, what's this? Click, and you're like, come on, dude.
Then you want to go play Bradley the Badger for 7 hours to wash your mind of the
Satanist. Look what he wrote in the chat. He goes, he means at work in the kitchen. Sorry, Bill.
I thought you meant the other thing Satanist said.
Yeah, Noriko. There you go. Noriko 94. He goes, Meg, I've seen some stuff. I'm like, dude, trust me, I've seen it too. And I'm not happy about it. But anyways, when I'm watching that trailer, it was very realistic. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, this is horrifying. And you see the kids in the crowd cheering and all this crazy stuff going on. And then then all went to hell, and then demons, no pun intended. And then all this crazy stuff happened and people started dying. And I'm like, this is insane. Yeah, however, that being said, Divinity's not my kind of game. So it's just like the style of the gameplay loop is not my thing. So I was just like, I mean, they showed really well. The way they showed was a 10 out of 10. Their marketing, 10 out of 10. They did an incredible job of doing that, building anticipation, getting it out there. They even did the live thing with the actors, walking up towards the stage, and they all started getting pulled up on the wires and stuff. And,
that was
and then they showed the trailer.
To me, but
it was cheese, but I mean, it was still the presentation itself, and the marketing push was a 10 out of 10 across the board. They did their job. They got people talking about it. You and I are talking about this right now, so I think.
Normally I would say that showing us a CGI only trailer, we don't even know exactly. Well, I mean, we know what kind of gameplay it's going to be, because if you know the Divinity series, you would hope that it's it's a turn-based game, and you get no actual gameplay, nothing in engine. But because it's from Larian, they'll get away with it, because Baldur's Gate's amazing, and you can just assume that their treatment of Divinity is going to be amazing. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably not a game. I think when that game comes out, everyone will talk about it ad nauseum, and I'll be like, yeah, I tried playing it. It's not for me. I'm not smart enough. But the one that I am really excited about was, I was told this rumor was absolute bullcrap, but it was true. Multiple Tomb Raider games. Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, which is a reimagining of a remaster of a remake of the first Tomb Raider game. And gosh dang, it looks really nice. Like, it looks really good. And hey, can we say
100%?
They made Lara Croft look like the way she's supposed to look. They didn't try to make it safe. They just made her look like Legacy Lara Croft. She's just a heroine, just like Nathan Drake is handsome. It's like, it's cool. Like, people are excited. Like, this is the Tomb Raider they grew up with. And I've never, I played the remaster one for an hour maybe. So this is a new thing for me. But Catalyst is the actual real Crystal Dynamics sequel of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And it's going to take place after that. So that's coming out in 2027. And it's got a mechanic in it that I know Mag and I are going to absolutely love. And it's not the shorty shorts. Do you remember what the brand new Tomb Raider mechanic is that is going to make you and I happy?
A new mechanic. It's not jiggle physics.
Not just jiggle physics, but she puts something on.
Well, like a harpoon, yeah.
No,
like a What?
Were you
What did I
drinking
miss?
during the stream?
No, I wasn't. No, I
Okay.
wasn't. I actually missed a part of the
on
trailer.
the grappling hook thing, like the Just Cause
That's what
thing.
I just said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what I just said. Like,
I was drunk.
I meant the hook. I was
Well, you
trying to
called it a
say
harpoon.
I was trying to think of Batman. I'm like, yeah, Batman, the grappling.
Yeah,
hook.
harpoon.
No. So
I'm
I get it.
Beluga whale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I mean,
sorry.
dude, like I said, that was the greatest, hot take as I generally have all hot takes. Master Chief, best new mechanic in Halo, the grapple hook. You know what I mean? Absolutely elevated Halo, no pun intended, to a new level for me. However, that being said, with Lara, that's going to add a lot. That's going to add a lot to the game as well, especially when you're trying to get to, like, you see, like when the trailer ended, she was climbing up the spire. And then, like, that's the big stone spire, and she's overlooking the kingdom or whatever else. I mean, it's going to be amazing to get up there with it, with the grapple hook, take you up to this level, take you up to that level. I can also see this. I'm telling you right now, sprinting, jumping off the edge of a cliff, slow motion, and then halfway through, when the prompt shows up, bang, you hit the grapple hook halfway through like Batman, and then she just zips up to the next area. Absolutely,
I can't
see
wait.
that. It's going to be. I can't wait. Tomb Raider is in my top 5 franchises of all time. Number 1, Resident Evil. Followed closely, I would think. I would think that Tomb Raider is either 2 or 3 in there because I've played every single Tomb Raider that's ever been released, and I've loved them all. I've loved every single one of them, definitely ad nauseum. So, and showing 2 Tomb Raiders, what a treat. Especially we got Legacy of Atlantis coming in 26. The exact 30-year anniversary, by the way, is in November. And I believe it's November 21st or 20. No, sorry, 20. Damn it, I can't remember. It's in the 20s. So it's third week of November, somewhere in there, is the exact 30-year anniversary of Legacy of Atlantis. Which in those days, it was just called Tomb Raider.
Right, it was just Tomb Raider, which I remember playing that with my brother-in-law on his PlayStation 1, and I was like, I remember thinking, oh, that's like really block, turn, jump, like pull up.
Well, it was
like
the tank.
The movement was so orthogonal. Even way back in like 99 or whatever it was, I was like, this looks kind of boring. But apparently this one has
apologies.
What's that?
I was going to say the actual 30th anniversary will be October 25th, not November. I got the
oh, no, a whole month. You were off by 96%.
So I knew it was in the 20s,
Correct.
but I got the wrong month. It's October 25th, 96. So it'll be exactly 30 years.
You think that's when they'll come out with that? That's when they'll come out with the Legacy of Atlantis?
Well, why not? I mean, that would make a lot of sense, right? Yeah. So, October 25th, and then good time of year.
You're before Grand Theft Auto? Yeah.
You're before Grand Theft Auto by a month. However, you'll be somewhere in the midst of like you see what I'm talking about, dude? You see what we're talking about?
I know.
You see what I'm talking about? You got a Gear Z Day somewhere in the mix. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, Tomb Raider, Wolverine, Grand Theft Auto 6, all within a 3-month span. The hell?
Nikes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, let's shove Fable. Let's grease up Fable with some petroleum jelly and shove it in between all those games. You know what I mean? Like, what the
oh my
what are we talking about here? You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. We got to spread it out a little bit. It's never going to, it can't happen. There's too much. By the way, we still don't even know what the hell's going on with Black Flag. What the hell was that all about? Ubisoft was supposed to show that at the Game Awards too.
Yeah, and we haven't seen it. I was hoping that would be like a March or April thing to kick off the year since we had Assassin's Creed Shadows. I am so excited about Black Flag.
I can't wait.
And I said the name correctly. I didn't misspeak. That's great. Which is
you realize we're playing 3 remakes in 1 year, dude? I know. Trust me. I said the wrong name on my thing, but I speak so fast that nobody really caught it. But trust me, yeah. I was kind of like the Micro Machines guy. We're playing 3 remakes next year, dude. Black Flag, Halo,
probably more than
and Tomb Raider.
Yep. And there's probably more than that. Toby Leahy, thank you so much for for a couple super chats with a thumbs up. We appreciate you. I think you might have wanted to write something or whatever, but if you write something, I'll keep an eye out for it and I'll read if you have a question. I appreciate you. Ruin VIXI. Thank you so much. The Canadian 5 says, "Happy Monday, Pookies. I was quite happy with the Game Awards. Yeah, so are we. Even though I was complaining a lot.
Me too. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. The Warhammer 40K, which I didn't write on the list. There was a bunch of games I kind of left out. They're kind of in the periphery that are obviously pretty awesome. Divinity, they said. Photor, Forest 3, which is something I didn't put on the list, which is weird, creepy looking game. We wish we would have gotten some rough ideas on release dates. Yeah, but I do like that there was a good chunk of his show, which was like, here's something you didn't know existed. I think that's the best part of the Game Awards. Seth Monsters, thank you for the $5 super, says, Microsoft gutted the Game Pass page on consoles, making it harder to find new games. Coming soon or rewards, and improve the iOS app and the ROG pushing us off. Are you talking about the Game Pass page on consoles? Okay. So there's two ways, Seth, to get to the Game Pass page. One is through your library, and then the top bar over to Game Pass, which is the one I use the most. But if you're going to the Game Pass box icon in the flyout menu, sorry, it would be on this side for you if you're watching on the TV screen. If you go to it from there to that little Game Pass box, it's different. The UI is different from if you go into your games library over to the top to the Game Pass thing. This is your tech hour with Colteastwood, and Mag is going to sing his musical number and go
right now. Yep, here we go. Speaking of which, shout out to Jean-Claude Alex in the chat, who actually reminded me there that Prince of Persia, Sands of Time is another remake coming next year.
Oh, dang.
That'll be 4 big remakes that I will be playing. Absolutely.
Yep. KY Bob reminds us that, thank you for the $2 super chat, KY. By the way, send me the picture. I'm going to be drawing a profile picture of him. And hey, guess what? It's going to be actually drawn and not made by AI. So that'll be a real treat to check out. It's something that'll take a few hours to put together. But KY Bob, I meant to message you, like, where's that picture so I can do that profile picture for you? He says, new season of Fallout is tomorrow. That's episode correct. Per week. So tomorrow night on the 16th, Fallout Season 2. And I've been playing a lot of Fallout 4. I was playing Fallout 4 all day. I'm just joking, Mag. I was not. I'm just joking. Don't yell at me.
I was this close from just losing my mind. And I was about to say something, but
don't hit me.
Like, he must be joking. But you know what the thing is, ladies and gentlemen?
I'm actually playing Fallout 4 right now.
Yeah, he's doing it right now. What do you think? That's why he's so distracted tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He's been playing Fallout 4 the entire show. Yeah, leaving me to ramble like an idiot here.
I mean, we both ramble like idiots constantly. We talked about For a Loop. We talked about... So the one last thing was Highguard. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, nah, no thanks. I don't like being that guy. But Mag, as soon as I saw a guy on a whimsical horse with its mane flapping in the camera, and then he's shooting an assault rifle, I was like, no, I don't like that.
I was like, what the hell is happening right now? Like, it looked like an LSD fever dream from the late 60s and early 70s, where some guy's like, bro, I got this great idea, man.
Bro,
so we're gonna have dudes horses, on. We're gonna have dudes on horses like medieval times and stuff, man. And then hold on, give me a second. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna give them assault rifles.
Bro, there's horses. You already said there was horses. Did I mention?
Like, what is that? I'm watching that. I'm like, Colteastwood, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, he gets 100% credit tonight for saying that Fate of the Old Republic should have absolutely been the one last thing. You should have done the Galactic Racer where it was, so you gave everybody a little taste of that, of the Star Wars game.
Yeah,
early on, so it's already in there.
Look at Mag producing the show better than Jeff did.
Colt, I think Colt nailed it. Then you put Fate of the Old Republic to end the show as an absolute shock to everybody, and then you're like, "Thanks for coming. We'll see you at the Summer Game Fest," and everybody would be still in shock walking out of that theater. And that is how you create buzz.
They have a cart and they're selling toy lightsabers. $7, get your lightsabers.
Well, he has his family has ties to Disney, right? So I'm surprised they didn't. His parents have ties to Disney. That's where do you think he got all the dinero to start all these things, right? It's
Disney Arrow.
Anyways, yeah. It's he's got Hollywood ties, right? So it's a whole thing, and it's not really him. He got in there, but like it was his parents. But anyways, yeah. The Highguard.
He is a pretty good talent, though. But he's been pretty amazing on the camera for a long time.
It's who you know, right? When it comes to Hollywood, look at all Hollywood. You know, look at all Hollywood. Look at everybody who's famous in Hollywood. It's because their parents were famous, or their parents were producers or directors, or they were actors in the 60s and 70s. And you know what I mean? When you look at their last names, they all have lineage through Hollywood. It's very, very rare where you get someone like, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who comes from Austria and became a superstar. Very rarely does that happen. Sylvester Stallone being another one. But like a lot of them have lineage. Look at, just rest in peace to Rob Reiner, by the way, and his wife, and that horrible, horrible situation yesterday. Well, a lot of people who are not old enough to remember that Rob Reiner's father was a world famous comedian with Carl Reiner. Yeah, well, Carl Reiner was a world famous comedian with Mel Brooks in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I mean, they used to do that skit, The 1,000-Year-Old Man.
And then he was on All in the Family. Rob was in All in the Family.
Well, his
for
son
like
was
20 years.
Yeah, sorry, Rob. Yeah, Rob was in there, but Carl, he was writing all those movies and all those skits and all the stuff that Mel Brooks did, all those classics that Mel Brooks did. Carl Reiner was there with him. So, like, you know what I mean? There's always that lineage. So, same thing with Keeley. Keeley has lineage with Hollywood. So,
yep.
Yeah.
That was a sidebar we went on for a moment there, but
sorry,
our parents aren't famous, but we're famous.
Well, we're famous for different reasons.
Like 7 people know who we are.
As everybody knows, the long node Xbox shill. I'm the pony bot that people don't. I'm an Xbox trader, and so we just do what we do. Like Colteastwood and I just that's what we are, and that's why we're famous. Yeah, exactly. Nicolas Cage, another one. His father, I forgot
about that.
Yeah, he changed his name because he tried to get famous on his own. It's like, dude, everybody knows your uncle is Francis Ford Coppola, bro.
Have you seen that clip of Nicolas Cage in like early 1980s going on to a talk show and he does like a somersault and he's
when he does
clearly
the flip,
he's clearly on like coke, bro.
Yeah, dude, he was in the Colombian marching powder. That's 100% for sure. Like, he did that full frontal flip with those like the alligator boots on and the tight jeans.
It was like,
and like he sat down. He's like,
it was like a Willy Wonka fever dream. And
it was amazing. He smoked an entire cigarette in one drag when he sat down. He's like, it's great to be here tonight.
Yeah, we saw him in person on stage at the Summer Games Fest in 2024. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, he was on stage. Like Jeff Keighley had him there for like some Daisy cameo thing. It was super weird.
Yeah.
But I've always been a big fan.
I know. It was just like when Al Pacino came out to the other one. He's like, "Okay, my watts."
Oh no! Al Pacino was like,
remember that Al Pacino had no idea. Yeah, he's like, "What am I doing here? Where's the Academy?" And he's looking around. Where's Steven Spielberg? And they're like, I don't even know what's going on. Okay, games, goodbye.
And they're like,
and then
okay.
And
they pushed him and put him on a rascal scooter, and he's like,
yeah. And then they just sent him up. Just send him back to Beverly Hills. And
yeah.
Of course, he's a great actor. They're all great actors. They're amazing. Al Pacino's one of my favorite of all time.
Meg and I are like 50, and our favorite heroes that we grew up with are old grandmas and grandpas. It's like the musicians, like my favorite musicians, now they look like an old Jewish grandmother with a guitar on, because they have big white hair. They're like, you didn't try like this. But yeah, I mean, it sucks.
Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. Like, you ever see the memes of him, like where he's got like the big sunglasses and he's got the hair, and he goes, Steven Tyler now looks like your cool aunt that let you smoke and drink at her house as long as nobody drove. Like, it's just like you look at him and I'm like, yeah, he looks like a 75-year-old aunt. It's pretty funny.
They really do. It's fine because I'm not 30 anymore, but like my favorite action stars, they're just old.
Well, God bless us, Sylvester Stallone, because he's rocking it hard with Tulsa King, and I mean, he's just fits the part perfectly, and the show is just amazing. So, and of course, I got Gaz on it. Did I tell you about that? I'm like, Gaz, you got to watch the show, Tulsa.
Oh,
King.
you got him to start watching it,
dude. He messaged me at 4:00 in the morning, and he goes, I haven't slept because of you. And I'm like, why? And he goes, I just watched 8 straight hours of Tulsa King. I can't stop watching it. He's like, it's so good. He goes, Stallone is amazing. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's a fantastic show. But anyway, speaking of
Stallone's
shows,
like my other dad, I've grown up on his movies like my whole life. And he's the same age as my dad. So it's like, it's fine. And I really like the celebrities that don't pretend that they're not old. They just like, they've had the gray hair. They've aged amazingly. They're just old. And like, I hate the guys who their hair's been colored, but their face is so wrinkled, but their hair's like perfectly brown. It's like,
yeah. I know.
I'm just waiting for everything to turn gray so I could just, leave it as is. Yeah.
I know.
Anyway.
It's okay. You'll get there one day.
Yeah.
Couple of honorable mentions.
Honorable
Pretty
mentions,
much,
yes.
Can we do that?
I guess we can mention, like, if no one cares, but there's like Resident Evil Recess, or whatever it's called. What else you got that's honorable mention?
Honorable mentions. Well, first of all, the Lego Batman. That was a big one.
Yeah.
Street Fighter, the movie. I enjoyed how they did the trailer, and then they all came out, except for Ken, who was also clearly on some nose candy. When he came out. Like, dude, the guy was screaming in the mic. I'm like, bro, like, come on, chill out, man. But when the whole cast came out, I mean, what a great cast. You've got Roman Reigns, you've got Cody Rhodes, you've got Jason Momoa as Blanca. Are you kidding me? You got Polka Dot. Yeah,
Isn't
you got
that
Polka Dot
perfect?
Man as what the hell's his name? M. Bison, I think. Right? You got that other comedian in there. I always forget his name. The guy with the mustache, the thin mustache.
I don't remember his name. He's hilarious.
Stuff.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he says some pretty crazy stuff. I've seen some of his roasts and stand-ups. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah, and he roasted Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, he did. He did say a couple of jokes about Mortal Kombat. But that was great. We forgot to mention Gang of Dragon. Gang of Dragon, the one that looks like a Yakuza game, made by the guy.
It's all CGI, but you can know what to expect. That does look really cool. And it's the guy that is in
it looks fun.
Doctor Strange and the Avengers stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That looked fun. That looked pretty cool. And then the other one was a bigger one, was Control. Control 2 or Control Resonant. The sequel to
Control Resonant.
Remedy's game. That was there. And by the way, speaking of which, what's his face there was sitting next to Kojima. Did you see him?
Sam Lake was?
Yeah. Sam Lake was sitting next to Kojima.
I didn't see that.
Like, imagine seeing those two colorful characters sitting next to each other.
The two legends.
The long hair and stuff. Like, he's so cool.
So I'm not a Control fan, but Resonant has like the melee thing going on and does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
listen, guys, Street Fighter's not going to be winning any Academy Awards. I see what you guys are saying in the chat. It's just going to be dumb fun.
Dude,
you know what I mean? It's going to be dumb fun.
Mortal Kombat 1995 was cheesy as hell. And
it was
I was in
awesome.
high school, and I didn't even really care for Mortal Kombat. I didn't have any affinity to the game. And my friends and I were like, hey, let's go see this Mortal Kombat movie. I loved it. I had a really good time. I wasn't looking to cry like I did in Forrest Gump in front of my friend twice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mortal
I think
Kombat
Street
right there,
Fighter's
ladies and
fun.
gentlemen. Look, right there. That's
What's
it,
that?
Mortal Kombat. Listen, that was a huge Mortal Kombat fun, but like, it's dumb fun. It's just dumb fun. And like I said, like Colt said, the 95 Mortal Kombat was dumb, but it was still awesome. The cool music, the silly characters, Reptile being formed out of a bunch of insects. Reptile. And then the music. You know what I mean? And then like it was awesome, man. It was so much fun, but it's goofy fun. Like, I just want to see Dalsum dude be like, you got fire. Like, I want to see that. And it's just silly. It's just
Who's playing M. Bison?
It's
that guy.
Polka Dot Man guy.
Yeah, that guy.
And he played a very minor role as one of Joker's henchmen in The Dark Knight The Dark Knight.
Yes.
Two-Face sort of, before he became Two-Face, when he was torturing him in that room or whatever and stuff. And then he got a bunch of roles after that because he's starting to become a more prolific actor. But yeah. But either way, I mean, it's just going to be dumb fun. I mean, it's Street Fighter. How serious could you take it? But did you see the size of Zangief? Like,
I thought you were going to say something else.
Zangief? You see the size of him, and you know Jason Momoa ain't no slouch. I've met Jason Momoa. The guy is a Sasquatch. Like, I literally
and
like
the Zangief guy is
he's like
bigger
4
than
of
him?
me. Yeah, dude. It looked like that on stage. The Zangief guy looked bigger than Momoa, and I'm like, yo, dude, how big do they make humans now? I mean, like,
jeez. I took time.
Like, did he grow up next to a nuclear power plant?
I took time to put gameplay while we were talking about this. I rendered out like a 20-minute like cut of my favorite trailers. I took the time to make this, and I didn't even like remember to put it up. There's Highguard.
Game adaptation. Stop it.
These games aren't normally really good, but there was a let me get this on here. There was a Dungeons and Dragons trailer that looked really cool, but I don't know if the Dungeons and Dragons games are good. Oh my gosh, it's not going to work. Hold on. If I delete this, yes. That's weird. Why is it not working?
He's from. That's where he's from. Thank you, chat.
He's played a bad guy
in the movie. He was the bad guy in Reacher season 3. That was like a foot bigger than Reacher himself. And Reacher's he's also a silverback gorilla. That guy's like a monster of a human being. And then the Zangief guy, he was one of the bad guys in Reacher season 3, which was a great season, by the way. Fantastic show. What else? There was someone else.
Ad.
Oh, yeah, unbelievable.
I'm trying to show you this gameplay, and I have an ad for freaking dishwashing stuff. Okay, hold on. Let me. Gosh, dang it. Hold on, and it turns on freaking.
He's
subtitles.
7'2".
Holy cow, that guy is huge,
dude. He's a monster.
I want to watch this Dungeons and Dragons thing real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think these Dungeons and Dragons games typically end up being very good. But this trailer looked really cool. In fact, I might just scrub it here and see if it actually shows gameplay. I thought maybe it did. No, it's all pre-rendered nonsense. Nothing really happened still here. But yeah, it looks like your typical fantasy game, but it's got high quality cinematic renderings that you'd see in like a World of Warcraft thing or something, or a Blizzard game. So World of Warcraft or Diablo.
Yeah,
but
you're like,
I was like, oh, this could be cool.
40K.
Yeah. But yeah, Warlock, Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, hey, maybe that'll be a really good one. Gameplay reveal in the summer, which means it doesn't come out till 2027. Yeah, who cares? I love it.
But anyway, and Control Resonant, that was the other one. That looked cool.
Yeah.
I think that we pretty much covered. Oh, in Resident Evil Requiem, they finally showed Leon in the trailer, and then they showed Leon. They showed just a snippet of the of gameplay of him shooting. And boy, did you see some of those, like the physics of like when you shoot the people, like you see them stagger, and then like even at one point when one of the guys staggers, he puts his arm out to right himself, kind of thing. Like it looked like he was shooting real people. Like it was crazy. Like I was looking at that going, holy crow, man, this game looks unbelievable.
Man, if I have time between Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, I might have to play Resident Evil Requiem.
I'm gonna kill you, Cole. You're playing Resident Evil day one.
I'll play it. Yeah, it does look really good.
It looks so good.
They said in the studio that some of the females were, what's the word? They consulted on them about how Leon should look to make him look like handsome and aged all at the same time, and everyone's like,
you mean like us.
Well, yeah, of course. If we had more hair.
I mean, well, actually, if you follow the lineage of Resident Evil, which you do not because you're playing too much Fallout, Leon would be 51 years old, 51 and a half years old.
Perfect.
So he's just a year and a half older than me. So that's the age. And then he hasn't appeared in a game since.
If you didn't shave your head, could your hair get to be like his by the end of the
absolutely
by the time the
game
releases and
absolutely
bleach it blonde?
Yeah.
No? Okay. That's the show, guys. We appreciate you sticking around listening to Mag and I talk about the Game Awards that were 77 days old. We appreciate you. It's been a good show. Mag, tell everybody what they can expect on the channel. You kind of said at the beginning of the show, but we're coming into the holidays, and you've got some time to make some content before you take off for Christmas. So what do you have to say?
Yeah. The rest of the week, I'm going to be very busy. Starting tomorrow, Magcast, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time, PM, 8:45 p.m. I will not, and I'm going to reiterate this, this week for the two shows. I'm going to be doing two shows this week, one on Tuesday, one on Friday. I am not going to be accepting any channel members or super chats, which, of course, the community has been insanely generous with. However, that being said, I'm going to be doing the fundraising this week for Emily's house. That's for the children in hospice care. And so I'm going to be doing all of the money that anybody wants to donate to me. I'm going to be putting it on the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe will be linked at the top of my channel, at the pinned comments, whatever. a pinned chat. So it'll be up there, and anybody who wants to give, even if they want to say, I'm going to send Mag $5 or $10 or $100 or whatever the heck they do, which is crazy. But people do. Put it over there. Don't give anything to me. I will not take a penny for myself this week. All that money is going to go to charity, for children's charity, because I really, it hit home close to me. My cousin died in child hospice care. And to be quite honest, I never got over it. I never got over it. It haunts me to this day. And that being the case, and of course being a father myself, it would be a horrifying experience, and I got to see it firsthand. And I wish I didn't, but now I kind of glad I did, because now I can give back to them. So I'm going to be doing it every year annually. And for my 2 streams this week, I'm going to kindly ask no super chats and no channel member gifting, nothing. If you're going to give anything, give it to the charity, and it'll be on an official one, GoFundMe. I was going to do YouTube Give, because you know how YouTube has that? They have the YouTube Give thing, and then you just put the charity directly there, and YouTube will link it directly to the charity and all that stuff. But they changed the parameters of that, by the way. Just thought you'd know. You need 10,000 subs and above to do YouTube Give now.
Oh, okay.
They changed it, and I obviously do not have 10,000 subs. So that being the case, I had to do it externally, and I'm doing it through GoFundMe. So I will pin the link to GoFundMe. So anybody who gives me anything, like I said, send it there. My goal is $1,000, not this week. I'm going to keep it open till January 1st. I'm opening up to families and friends too. So anybody who wants to donate, whatever. And in January, and of course, I'm going to donate myself to get it started. And I'm going to give that money to them in person at Emily's house. It's in Toronto. And yeah, it's
awesome.
They're doing God's work down there, man. It's crazy. Like they even build rooms on the side of the rooms where the children are being looked after. It's hard to talk about. Where the families get to live in, like, there with them for their final days. So they sleep there. They have their own bedrooms and they have everything else. So the child feels like they're at home. You know what I mean? So they design it so that each, you know what I mean? It's like I said, it's really hard to talk about, but I'm going to give every penny I got to them because like I said, I've seen it, and it's not just my cousin. I've seen the other kids too, and it was horrifying. And I will do whatever I can in my power. And God willing, one day I get to, hundreds of thousands, millions of subs. I don't give a shit what it is. I will donate, and more and more and more and more to them at all times. And I will always do that. So that's what I'm doing this week. I will be still doing videos on top of that, which obviously will not be attached to the GoFundMe. I will be doing shorts as well. And my Friday Night Live will not be live game streaming. It will be another Magcast where I'm going to be doing the fundraising as well for Christmas. So I'm going to be doing all that. But anyways, I'm done talking. So that's it.
We appreciate you, Meg. And it's
sorry,
really
dude.
good.
Sorry, it's really hard to talk about.
Well, I'm glad that I've been watching your channel grow, and you've had these opportunities to do more and reach out to more people. So be thankful every day for it, because it's really good to see, and you have opportunities to help other people and to talk to, even brighten someone's day in the chat. It does make a big difference. And I've been doing this on YouTube for like 8 years. I've been doing the podcast for like 4 years, and some of you that reach out or give me a call, like, we can change each other's lives. I appreciate everything you're doing, Meg, and it's going to be a busy holiday season, and we'll be there to support you. Just keep an eye out here. I'll let you know what we're doing. I will have the podcast a few days before Christmas, on next Monday, and I'll have a guest to cover for Mag, and hopefully he'll be almost as handsome. But we appreciate you guys, and thanks so much. Hit your like button on the way out. And Mag,
yes,
you have a good Christmas, but we'll talk between then, I think.
Oh, we're going to talk before that. Yeah. We're going to talk before that. But
okay.
Anyways, listen, I just want to say one last thing about the show. Listen, guys, when we make jokes and do all that kind of stuff, and we crack on people, and we laugh and joke about people in the chat, remember, we're just kidding around, eh? So, don't take it too seriously. So, I just want to remember that we're all here to have fun. We're all here to have a good time. And when it comes to comedy and it comes to these shows, sometimes we get out of hand, and that's what happens. I mean, we all do it. And that's that's why do you think stand-up comedians don't allow cell phones anymore? There's because people are going to take all of that out of context and stuff, right? And they go, look what Dave Chappelle said. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's just kind of what it is. But we're all just here to have fun and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I appreciate that because there's content creators. We a couple of weeks ago we were talking about how people can hate or harass or say some pretty biting things to us, you know, in our comments or whatever, send us messages like go away forever, you know, stuff like that. And I was watching a content creator that's a PlayStation centric content creator, and I was really like upset about the way people think of him or how they talk about him. And I thought, why are we doing this? Like, and not the people that say the things, but why are we letting people bother us when they say these things? And we have a real opportunity to just reach out and hang out with people that like the same and love the same hobby we do. So as you go out and hang out with your families or go help people, keep that in mind. We appreciate everything you do. Mag, go follow Mag and subscribe to his channel. His link is in the description. Check out 4XP if you want to get stocking stuffers or get something for yourself, like a shaker and all that stuff. We appreciate you guys. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and everything like that. And we'll see you in just a few days. All right, bye. Oh, yeah.